Bella.
Hi babes, it's me, Shannon B for Brown Girl Bella. I bring you lips, lashes, and luxury. My brand is all about high-end luxury, but I also do mid-tier reviews as well as for my bargain bellas, drugstore brands as well. I do makeup and skincare and show you what things you should spend your money on and which things you should simply toss away. There's something here for everyone, and there's something here for you. Come join me, be a Bella, and let's get Bellafied. Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Shannon B for Brown Girl Bella, back again as always to bring you lips, lashes, and luxury. But babes, you know what we do on Thursdays, right? On Thursdays, we unwind, we wine, and we have some wine. So tonight I have a special thing that I want to talk about, and I'm inviting everyone, male and female, to come up, but ladies first. The topic tonight is he's a king, but does he treat you like a queen? So I want to hear from all the fellas tonight. I want to hear from all the ladies tonight. Don't be shy. Come on up and say hi. So, hello, everyone. Let me tell you who's in the chat tonight. We got P and Q, Grind. Can't wait for this one. Neither can I, sis. I was jumping at the bit all week for this. I was ready. So thank you so much for coming. And thank you for that super sticker as well. Appreciate you, sis. Hello to Musisi. Hello, Bella. Madam Teacher, we have 9 minutes. Okay. Okay. Awesome. When you start class, then I start in the dark corner. I don't even want to know what you're doing in that corner, Musisi. I don't even want to know what you're doing in that corner. We have someone new to the chat. Hello, Margot Lewis. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and tap that bell so you're notified each and every time I upload. Musisi said it was missing Bella After Dark. You was missing some Bella After Dark? Okay. Hey, DOD, thank you for coming in and thank you for the shout out on your channel. Appreciate you, brother. CC's and DOD saying hello to each other. Hey, House of X Entertainment. Hey, boos. House of X is a recently monetized channel. Go over there and show love to Wanston and Leo, my babes, otherwise known as the salt and pepper. And I'm the spice. So welcome, guys. Thank you so much for showing your love to me as always. Hey, Edward. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. Mrs. Unnecessary. Hey. All right, boo. You know what I'm gonna do right now. Hold, please. Where are you? Where's my boo? I just saw you. Hang on a second, y'all. Oh, I just saw her. There we go. There we go. Oh, we got a new mod in the chat. This is Unnecessary. That's my girl right there. Thank you so much, sis, for agreeing to be my new mod. I so appreciate you. Hey, my soror, this speech is better with it. Hey, membership matters. Come on, sis. I love it. Burns, I didn't think you were even coming today. I know you were under the weather. Hugs, 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 virtual hugs, because I don't want what you got. I'm just teasing. Feel better, my love, and we'll talk soon, okay? Love you. Burger said, oh, I'm shy. Honey, not here in this land, you won't be shy. Trust me, you'll get your sea legs under you soon enough. My babes are very, very sweet and gentle, and they'll take it easy on you, girl. So P&Q said, I want to know. What you want to know, honey? What you want to know? If you thinking Bella ain't a queen in her house, oh yes. Oh yes, I am the queen. I am the queen. Yes. All right. Who else do we have in here? Oh goodness. We got P&Q already said. We got India, stay motivated. Murray, hey sis. How are you, beautiful? Awesome. See Parker in the house. Hey. You know it's gonna be good. Yes, honey. I try to give it to y'all good. Come on, it's the end of the week. I love this. Hang on, let me show you this one. We don't bite, just nibble a little. Ow. Ow. And you got to ask me nicely if you want to nibble. Ask me nicely. Hey, Charlene. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. DOD shouting out Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house, as always. Happy Friday Eve. That's right. I love it. I love it. Okay. So since we're talking about Brooklyn, let me break for a little commercial while we get settled in for our day. Here's Brooklyn. All right, that's baby Brooklyn. All right, so here's what happened and why I did this topic. So, I'm always surfing on the net, coming up with different topics for either a Bella After Dark or for one of my regular makeup content creations. And so I came upon this opinion piece by a woman named Hannah Coleman. And I thought it was interesting to read to you what this young lady thought about being treated like a queen. So here we go. We're going to start with her saying, after breaking up with a jerk, so many women think that if they found a guy who would treat them like a queen, then things would be better. She says she's here to dispel that myth. She believes that being treated like a queen is a horrible idea that will bring more dissatisfaction than happiness. And then she goes into her reasons why. So, the number one reason why she thinks that being treated like a queen would be a horrible idea is that you'd feel guilty. I don't know who she's talking to because I don't feel guilty at all. She says being treated like a queen means that your partner would dote on you. He'd do just about anything to make you happy and comfortable. Deep down inside, we all know we don't deserve that kind of selflessness and sacrifice. It is not that we have a self-worth complex. It is we understand that equality is critical for human happiness and sustainability. Your boyfriend treating you like a queen would make him unequal to you. What? So let's just break that down for a second. So being treated like a queen means that your partner would dote on you. Correct. Just as being treated like a king for him means that you would dote on him. So there's no unequalness there. As a matter of fact, the scales are equal in that regard because as he is doting on you, you are doting on him. There are ways in which, it might seem unequal if you're being selfish and you're not treating him like a king and it's all about you. But most women are not like that. Most women think that their man, as well as themselves, should be put on a pedestal and should be treated like royalty. So I don't understand where she got that line from. Hey, Uniquely, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. So, number two, she says, you'd never get to experience new things. What? When it's all your way, then all you'll ever experience is what you know and are interested in. The great thing about being in a relationship where you both have a say is that each person brings a richness to the relationship based on past experiences. If you want to have it all your way all the time, you'll end up missing out on a lot. I get that. I get that if it is all your way, which is what I said in the beginning, that you won't be able to experience the uniqueness that each person brings to the relationship. But again, we're talking about treating him like a king as well. So if you're treating him like a king and he's treating you like a queen, because we're going to get to the men who don't treat them like queens, and for women who don't treat their man like a king either. It would be one-sided if you're not doing that. So DOD says this article doesn't seem to delve into the woman treating the man like a king, which is why it seems one-sided. Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get into that because I believe she is just one-sided about this. She says you won't be challenged. So when you're the queen, no one wants to tell you the truth for fear of upsetting you. I find that the dynamics of a relationship in good times tend to get worse when times are bad. Think about it. When things are good and you let someone talk over you or push you, then those same patterns will follow when you're in a fight. If it's all about you when things are good, the same will happen when things are bad, likely to be even worse to a degree. It's often those closest to us that push us to grow. If your guy treats you like a queen and never tells you no, that won't happen. Again, I have to say, if a man is treating you like a queen, part of being in a relationship with anyone is that that person will tell you the truth, no matter how it may make you feel, um, whether good or bad. It's the honesty, it's the rawness, it's the communication, it's the ability to be no holds barred with your partner that makes it a relationship of equality. So definitely don't take that advice. Hey, Miss Mahogany Roots. Thank you so much for coming. You're out and about? No problem. Thank you so much for coming over. So here's another reason she says. She says, you'll lose a sense of empathy. Again, I have scratched my head on this one. She says, so many people love to blame the behavior of bratty kids on their innate nature. The truth is that brattiness is a result of an environment. The same goes for lack of empathy. If your feelings are all that matters, pretty soon you'll find it hard to empathize. In that regard, I do agree with her. If you are just solely focused on yourself and not your mate and not the relationship, then yes, you will find it hard to empathize when those times are needed. Um, so not only would your relationships suffer, your friendships will suffer too. You'll turn into someone that, again, nobody can stand, right? Nobody wants a person who's solely focused on themselves. You ever have that friend? Hey, Team Bill with Gio, welcome in. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for coming. You ever had that friend that calls you on the phone and be like, hey girl, how's it going? And as soon as you start talking, then they start talking about themselves and what's going on in their life, and you're relegated to just listen? Holla at me if you have a friend like that. I know I do. So crazy. Um, yeah. So here's the thing. When everything in your relationships is about you, then the guy won't come to you for stuff. Relationships are all about sharing. That's what makes you feel close to a person. But if your partner is so used to catering to you, he won't bring up his problems. Pretty soon, you'll find yourself in a shell of a relationship. And by then, it will be too late to break the patterns that you've already established. You said, well, they need a therapist that will solve that. Absolutely. 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 Like I said before, when you have those friends that, just only want to talk about themselves all the time, it makes you not want to pick up the phone when they call because it's like, okay, it's going to be another hour-long session about her and not about anything else. Like, you're not calling to see how I'm doing, what's going on in my life, yada yada. It's all about you and your feelings and what you're going through. So I get that. I get that. Nobody wants to be in there. Edward saying hi, Gio. Awesome. All right. So it doesn't matter how giving a person is, every human being has needs. If it's all about you, he won't bring them up and he sure as hell won't meet them. Pretty soon guy will start asking, or at least thinking, what about me? Just what I just said, right? And by the way, if any of this sounds familiar, it's because it is. Over the last few thousand years, men were treated like kings and women felt neglected. Back then, if they stayed in a relationship, it was for financial and social reasons. These days, men don't have that same motivation. If you keep letting him treat you like a queen without treating him like a king, the relationship will soon end. I'm going to say that again because that was the realest ish this chick ever wrote. If you keep treating him, if you keep letting him treat you like a queen and you don't treat him like a king, then the relationship will soon end. Why? Because he'll grow resentful. Today, more than ever, the majority of people have a higher sense of worth. No one wants to be taken for granted. If you keep having it your way, he'll grow tired of seeing it that way and will go to someone else eventually to have some feelings of self-worth. Meaning, he wants to be treated like a king and you don't treat him like a king. He's going to go looking for it somewhere else. And his view of you will change. When you start dating a guy, he sees you one way. If he chooses to treat you like a queen, then it's for his own reasons. The problem is that being treated like a queen changes you. The more you become inward looking, less patient, and less of a partner, your guy will recognize this and start to question why he's with you in the first place. Ciao. And then, as I said, the relationship will end. This happens in 99% of cases. There's a tiny group of men out there that do enjoy catering to a woman's every need, but the majority of men you'll meet will not. It takes considerable effort to provide for a person's every need. After a while, it gets tiring and then downright ridiculous. If your guy were to treat you like a queen, he'll get tired of it eventually. But then she says, but what if I treat him like a king too? She feels that you'll both be exhausted. Relationships work best when two people treat each other with mutual respect and kindness. You shouldn't have your needs elevated above his, and his needs should not be elevated above yours. You should be with someone that cares about meeting most of your needs and someone who you'll love so much that meeting most of his needs will be like breathing. Again, I'm with her on that. You should both be treated like royalty, in my opinion. So now I'm going to throw down the ladder to talk about this piece before I move on. Anybody wants to come up and talk about the piece I just read, let me know. P and Q says, I agree, it's two-sided, but I also feel if you're upfront and discuss your expectations, it's up to him to leave or stay. Perfect. I absolutely agree with that. Gio says, now that I agree with because it's exhausting taking care of me. Laugh out loud. I cannot expect him to do that. It's exhausting taking care of me too. I'm there with you, Miss Jill. But the thing about me is I enjoy treating my man like royalty too. Not all the time. But he doesn't do that for me all the time. It's special when he does things that are unexpected. It's special when he does things that are expected, like for my birthday or for Christmas, or even sending me flowers on Valentine's Day or something like that. Those are things that, sure, you kind of look forward to, like, what is he going to get? What is he going to do? How's he going to top himself? And when he does, when he sends things, um, it's like, wow, like he really put some thought into that. He really was looking for me to smile when I open this gift. And that makes me feel good. And I do the same for him. Like, his birthday is coming up. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to like really blow his socks off? Because, he's worth it to me. P&Q says he should say what it is he's looking for as well. Some men don't like being pampered and waited on. That's real too, P&Q. That's a good point because there are some men who don't like that kind of treatment at all, who want you to just, quote unquote, be normal, act normal. Like, I don't need any special treatment. But I find that when I do things like, make him dinner and bring it to him, or like I said, get him something that he wasn't expecting for his birthday and just, pamper him a little bit. I think that, he would like that. He would appreciate it more because one, it doesn't come all the time. Like, I'm not buying things every week and sending it to him or giving it to him. But those special moments where I can make his day, I look forward to that. And I pride myself on, you know, pampering him to the point that, makes him smile. Absolutely. Uh, Team Bill with Gio says, well, I don't know. To me, men like to be pampered, the ones that got some sense do. Absolutely. Like, who wouldn't want to be pampered? Who wouldn't want their woman or their man to dote on them? I think that's great. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. Hey, hey, Jada. We talking about your favorite topic. Ah, oh, DOD, I'm gonna make sure not to call you the L word. I know you, Jada, so you could call him. You can call him the L word. That's okay. That's okay. I was talking about the chicks that I don't know that be calling it. I'm like, what's up with that? I'm not even gonna read that out loud. I'm just gonna put it up here and laugh because you funny. Too much. All right, so I think I got most of your comments on that piece. So let me move on. So here's a question that I wanted to pose to the chat. So there's a man, he is hang on a second. What? My chat just jumped. Sorry. Hang on a second. Let me double check. All right. So here's one where there was a question from a guy. He says, why do females want to be treated like queens, but disrespect men when they treat them as queens, then fall in love with being treated like a mutt? I'm not sure I got that. Let me reread that again. Why do females want to be treated like queens, but disrespect men when they treat them as queens, then fall in love with being treated like a mutt? Okay, so I guess it's the whole good guy syndrome, like the good guy's treating you well and doing everything that a quote unquote man is supposed to do, and you dump him and then fall in love with a guy who treats you badly. I think that's what the guy is trying to say. Um, so what say you? What say you guys? First and foremost, let me pose that to the guys. What do you think about women who, you've put on that pedestal, you've treated her like a queen, you've done all the right things, and then she dumps you and goes with another guy? Team Belvagio says, well, you got the wrong girl trying to treat her like a queen. Move on, please, and find the right queen. Okay, okay. Okay, yes, that's what he's saying. So what say you, DOD? You ever had a woman that you treated like a queen and then she, for whatever reason, left you or cheated on you or moved on with a guy who does not treat her like a queen? Hey, Carmen Hall, welcome in. Thanks for coming. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that like button down there as well. Thank you. So another guy answers and says, that's a confusing part of women. They say one thing when you see them doing something completely different. But women don't actually want to be treated like a queen. I don't know who he's talking to. Rather, they want their partner to be a king, but women themselves don't want to be treated like a queen by their partner. They'd rather have a partner they can look up to and of higher status than they are. If the woman is a queen, then they can't really be with another person who has a higher status than them, because what's a higher status than a queen? I don't get that. I am having the men up. Come on up. Talk about it. Talk about it. What say you? Betang, hello. Welcome in. Don't forget to thumbs up, like and share if you care. So let me know what you think. The link is in the chat. Well, the ladies are talking in the chat, so come on up. Here's another comment from P&Q. Some women want men to be dominant and I guess have authority over them. They feel that this is love. If you're treating them like a queen, it's apparently something she's never been treated like. Okay, that's a good point. So they're not used to a man treating them like a queen. And so they don't know how to respond to those who do. Gotcha. Gotcha. So for me, I feel like men too need to be spoiled. They need to be told that they're handsome, told that their efforts are appreciated, and should also made to feel secure in the relationship. If he treats you like a queen, then you treat him like a king. Hello, sir. Welcome to the chat, to the stream. How are you?
I am doing good. How you doing, Bella?
I'm doing okay,
You're
hanging in
doing
there.
okay. All
What
right.
say you, sir?
Well, like I said, the brother is right. A lot of women, when you treat them good, you treat them like queens. I'm not saying you do everything they want, but when you treat them well, they tend to believe that those men are weak, that they can get
Mm-hmm.
over on those type of men, and they don't want a weak man like that. So they prefer men who kind of dog them out for whatever reason. Like that one brother answered, women are strange when it comes to that. They'll tell you they want one thing, and and then they'll actually ask for something different. Later on down the line, it's weird how some women are. The better you
Jill
treat it, the
says
better
she has
you treat
no
a woman.
self-esteem and doesn't know her worth. Poor girl. And she needs someone to tell her she is a queen and know her worth. Absolutely.
But see,
Absolutely.
women
Hey,
women don't
Marcus,
want to be
welcome,
treated like that
people.
though. That guy is right. Women don't. Most women don't want to be treated like a queen. They see that as being the brother being weak if they treat him that way. And they
Mm-hmm.
will always go to the dude that dog them out for some reason, and then complain about it as they're getting dogged out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kronos, thank you for the super sticker. He says, oh boy, here we go again. Hello, everyone.
What's going on, brother?
It's not Venus versus Mars tonight, but I just brought him up for a male opinion. The women are sounding off in the chat. Jada says, sounds like dudes are choosing the wrong females because no woman wants to be treated wrong. Stop chasing the miserable chicks and the ratty chicks. Good women ain't looking for abuse and negativity. Say it again, sister. Say it again. I hear you. And I
But you both know that the women do that though.
yeah, there are women who do that. And I don't understand it. If that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for someone to treat you well, because I mean, I don't understand a woman who would actively seek to be treated bad, but that's what you fall for. Like, hear it all the time. Girls say, oh, I want a bad boy. I want a bad boy. I'm like, well, what's a bad boy? Somebody that knock you upside the head? Like, what do you want? What do you want? And don't put those things in the atmosphere because you attract what you put out there. So if you want a guy who's going to treat you bad, who's going to do, bad things to you, don't put that out there if you don't want that.
Well, see, a lot of women see the bad boys as exciting, adventurous. They're out there. They're doing things that, like the square guys are not going to do. And so for women, especially the younger women, 18, 19, 20, 21, they're in their early 20s, to them, that's exciting. And they figure they'll get the good guy later on in life.
Exactly. Jada says, no, women don't do that. Girls who don't understand who they are and their worth may do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a distinction there. It's not women who go after that. It's girls who think that that kind of thing is exciting or something aspirational to seek. It's not. It's not at all. Somebody say women don't do that. That's right. Gio says there are women who don't know their worth and they have never been treated good from childhood up to womanhood. Until they realize something is wrong, they won't change. Now that is sad. Absolutely. You see a lot of that in dramatized and blown up in TV. I'm watching Queen Sugar right now. And in this season, they have a woman, shout out to Jai Parker, who's playing this woman with no makeup, by the way. And she looks beautiful, but they make her up with makeup to look like, she's a battered woman. And she ran to St. Joe, Louisiana, which is where Queen Sugar is based, with her young son. And she's running from her husband who used to beat her. And so she got tired of it and she ran to this town to get away from him. And so one of the lead characters who was interacting with her was saying, listen, you need to get a divorce. You need to get rid of that husband. And until you do, you're always going to be looking over your shoulder. You're always going to be thinking that the other shoe is going to drop, which I totally agree with. You need to rid yourself of that kind of baggage. And it's not healthy for you. And it's certainly not healthy for your son as well. And so I'm interested to see where this storyline is going to go. I have my opinions about where I think it's going to go. But I won't spoil it for those who watch Queen Sugar because I'm usually right when I say things out loud about the storylines. But
Is it the first season?
I'm sorry?
What season is it in?
I think this is the 6th season, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, you should watch it. If you haven't yet, DOD, watch the show. I think you would like it.
I'll check it out. What's the name of it again?
It's called Queen Sugar.
Queen Sugar. Okay.
And it's on the OWN network.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. C. Parker, she's talking to C. Parker, Jada. And if she didn't have a father figure to show her what she should have versus what he is like, then ... I guess she would devalue herself and not choose wisely. I'm just saying. That's absolutely correct, Jada. I think a lot of women who did not have a father in their life sort of seek their partner to be that father figure in their life. And so with that, when you're seeking a father instead of a mate and a partner, then you have that divide where he's always going to be on a pedestal and you're always looking up to him because you idolize him because he's your father figure, quote unquote, and not your partner. Because there's a difference. When it's a partner, you're looking eye to eye, toe to toe with this guy or this girl. I'm not judging. And saying, you're my partner. You're my helpmate. You're my partner. So I'm in it with you. You're in it with me. But when you're looking at it from a term of he is more important than you, and you feel like your value, what you're bringing to the table is not equal to his, then you're always going to have a relationship that's unbalanced. Officially says she needs to check that show out. Yes, Queen Sugar on the OWN network. Absolutely. Gio saying, hey, House of X. Jada said, man, her abusive dude gonna come back like the abusive dude. Don't do it, Jada. Don't do it. I'm telling you that's where it's going. That's where it's going. Exactly, Jada. Okay, I see some Queen Sugar viewers in the house.
So Bella, I guess I'll drop down and let some of the ladies come up. If any are coming up.
You can stay there in the chat talking. If anybody wants to come up, let me know. But stay.
Okay.
It's predictable. Yeah, it is predictable, Jada. Although I didn't predict what happened Tuesday on the farm. I didn't predict that with the soil. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't think that was going to be something that came up. P&Q says, yes, they want a thug gangster type and finds it a turn on until they realize they're not the only one. Exactly. What did my grandmother used to say? When you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. So don't lay down with dogs. Okay? Don't lay down with dogs. When you lay down with dogs, you get fleas. You get all that baggage, all that extra stuff that you don't want to have happen. You already forgot, DLG. Yeah, he ain't gonna watch it. Gio said, I have to go. Bella Vibe, enjoyed this live. See you next time. Okay, sis. Thank you so much for coming. Jada says, what did you say? And before the fellas be like, I was good to my daughter. I raised my daughter. You might have been in her life, but were you a good representative with other women? That's crucial. I think for me, the reason why I idolize my dad so much and why, even though he is gone now, I still hold him in such high regard is that even when the relationship with my mother did not work out and they divorced, he did not divorce me. His responsibility to me never wavered. So I still, got to hang out with him on weekends and on vacations and holidays. He still did the exact same thing he did for us in the house, outside of the house. I remember there was a big blackout in New York City when I was young, and my mother had to go to work. I don't know how or why she had to go to work and it was dark, but she had to go to work. And so my father came to the house, picked her up in the car, drove her to the job, and told her to call when she got off, and he would come pick her up and drive her back to the house. And he did that for like a week. And then the other time was when we had the transit strike in New York City. And he did the same thing. Picked her up every day, drove her to work. When she got off work, he was there to pick her up, drive her back home. Every day for 2 weeks, he did the same thing. And I was so like, I was young then at the time, but I remember feeling so happy to see them, one, together and not arguing. That was always a good thing. But two, to see the look on my mom's face when he arrived on time every morning to pick her up. And she was like, "Oh, I gotta, put my lipstick on. Oh, I got," and I was like, "Daddy downstairs waiting for you." Like, get your butt downstairs. Daddy downstairs waiting for you. So I really love that about my dad. His responsibilities never wavered. Welcome, Kronos, our newest member. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. DOD saying right on. I love it. Welcome in. Thank you so much. Meet and I. Hello, Meet and I. Welcome in. I love it. Jada said, "Oh, I knew that would happen and what they were gonna find. I just thought it was gonna happen last season." Oh, okay. Okay. No, not the bone. I was talking about the soil. That threw me for a loop. I was like, did somebody poison his soil? That's some low down so and so stuff. I was like, why they mess with the brother soil? He can't catch a break. He can't catch a break. Oh my goodness. Now she wants to talk to me. I always want to talk to you. I said hello to you, Connors, when you first came in. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Keisha, hello, sis. Thank you so much for coming. All right, now, Keisha, y'all need to go ahead on and subscribe to Miss Keisha, because Miss Keisha had me in stitches this morning. No, my behind need to be doing some work, and I'm sitting here listening to her and cracking up. So if you want a good hearty belly laugh, go on over to Keisha's comedy set and give her a call. Tell her Bella sent you. Jada said, "Listen, remember when they had some issues last year and the Landrys were setting them up for something?" Yes. Okay. Now that makes sense. I got you. All right. So, DOD, here's another thing I want to pose to you while you're up here. So most women have long fantasized about someday meeting the perfect man, right? And they think of, if they see him, he's going to be, big and strong with a soft and welcoming face and, a smile that can light up the whole town, be wise, be generous, and, have a good, strong moral character, right? You always want the guy to be loving and romantic, someone who, may leave random notes for you to find throughout the day, or, send you a card for no reason, but something really loving and caring about it. So are those guys, who do that or who live up to that, are they considered soft or are they considered manly? for doing those things?
Well, it depends on the woman. A lot of women, as I mentioned earlier, they see that as soft. That's not manly to do those type of things. Or those are the men that they can get over on
Mm-hmm.
that does that type of things. Now, for men, if a man really loves his woman, he does those things for her. He doesn't think about it as being soft or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But women will see it as being soft
And why do you think they see it as being soft
because
and
they
not
feel
manly, not something that we would want them to do?
because women see that as someone they can get over on. And I'm not saying all women, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
there are many women who see that as someone they can get over on, and they don't respect that.
Mm-hmm.
They want a man that'll put them in their place, that'll check them, and to tell them no. And for those guys that don't do that, a lot of women see that as being soft.
Gonna say he's leaving. He can't see my face. Our faces. Well, DOD never goes on camera, but I decided not to today just because, like, there was no real reason. But I can go on camera if you'd like. He's laughing. Why you keep playing with me,
Well, he
Colonel?
said he was in a joking mood today.
Oh Lord. Okay, fine. I'm turn my camera off then. Although I have a good makeup day today. Let me see. DOD scared.
Hey, Kronos, I'm trying to get that sleep member bed, man. That's what I'm trying to hold out for.
Here I am.
Jada.
It feels weird not to have my camera. Here I am. I'm here. And I had a good curl day too. Look at these curls. Flourishing, honey. They flourishing. All right. All right. Off camera I go. But just to make sure y'all not being catfished, I just wanted the camera up real quick. Let y'all know what I'm working with. Ow. And D never does. He better not be catfishing us. Are you catfishing?
Jada, that's bad, Jada.
Are you catfishing, DOD?
I'm catfishing.
Are you catfishing? Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. You're beautiful too. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. As a woman, you deserve to clamor for equality and have a man who clicks all of your boxes.
Well, hold on. Did I answer? Did I give a satisfactory answer? Did you understand it? Did the
Yes.
women in the chat understand?
Listen, you know me. If you had not given a satisfactory answer, what would I do?
Okay, but what about the women in the chat?
Oh,
Jada worried about me catfishing.
oh, Jada said, yeah, he catfishing, like with the TV series on Netflix where we thought it was some attractive teacher and it turned out to be an old white lady. Quoto said, I honestly, I guess, love this channel and chat. If I'm annoying, please let me know and I'll stop. No, not at all. Not at all, Kronos. Come on.
No, it's good to have another brother over here, man. You got a room full of women. It's only you and I. Or Terry and Kuma Toure comes through something. He may be working. But there's not a lot of brothers over here on Thursday night for some reason.
Hey, Jessica. Hey, beautiful. How are you?
Peace, Jessica.
What's going on? Yes. Doing well. All right. So, yes, if you had not answered properly, I would keep probing you until I got the answer that I wanted.
Okay. Okay, the answer that you wanted. Okay. Well,
Exactly.
see, that's part of that thing that we were talking about here tonight.
Oh, let's be clear. Brown girl Bella is spoiled.
See, brown girl
She's,
Bella might need to hear some no's sometime.
oh, I heard a no today. I was
Mhm.
shocked.
I don't know why. I don't know why you
And
stopped.
quite frankly, I'm a little miffed that it still has not happened yet. Like the time is
Hey,
ticking,
but
the
you get
day
what
is
you ask
almost
for, though. People get what they ask for.
over.
Don't be shocked when you get it.
Ooh. Ooh. Mm. So that means 2 days you're gonna be in the doghouse. Dang, must be rough. Jessica says she's been okay. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Jessica, I reached out to you because I wanted you on a special panel that I'm trying to put up in the next couple of weeks on women's issues, and things like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't like no either. I'm spoiled too. Exactly. I don't want no. No shouldn't even be in your vocabulary.
Yeah, but Jessica don't know the whole story, though. See, that's the difference.
It's no whole story.
Yeah.
You spun that story.
Yeah, okay.
Corona said she's spoiled. That's what I've been smelling. Oh my goodness. Please, you love my spoiled rotten self. Y'all love it. Blame my father. Blame that man. He did it. He did it. He ruined me for everybody. Or ruined it for y'all. But I also believe in spoiling too. You know, I spoil my man. He's spoiled too.
Mm. Okay. Maybe he is. I said maybe he is. Yeah.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he is.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I hear what you're trying to say.
Jessica's is always the dad's fault.
Kronos, thank you for the super sticker. Yeah, it's always dad's fault. Absolutely. Jada said, I spoil the men I'm with. Exactly. The men. Let's underscore that
You
one.
noticed that, huh? See?
Let's underscore that one. The men she's
The
with.
men.
All right.
That's plural.
Plural. And she enjoys it. Chrono says she talk about you, DOD.
See? Told you. You see how she laughed? She's not talking about me.
Let me sip my wine on that one.
No acres and cars and wedding rings.
Yes, I saw that. What was that sister that bought her boyfriend or whatever 28.8 acres of land? Cash done. He ain't got to do nothing.
Yeah, but they both gonna live on it, build on it. Right?
We would hope so. So
Yeah,
here's the thing that brought up an interesting question that I was going to bring up later in the show. Let's bring it up now. Do you believe in doing those sort of things if you had the money to do so, but even to go out and like buy your man something quote unquote expensive or whatever if you're not married?
See, me personally, and I'm not a woman, I'm not coming from the woman's standpoint, I'm coming from mine. I can't even say the men's because I don't know how all men think. But for me, I feel uncomfortable with a woman buying me something that expensive if we're not married. And even then, I kind of chip off it a little bit. But if we're not married, I don't want anything expensive from her. I just don't. I feel uncomfortable. Now, if we're married, that's a different story. But
Hmm. What about buying her expensive gifts?
again, it depends on the woman. It depends on how I feel about her, how she feels about me, how she treats me.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be just something that I would do for somebody that I just met. It
Right.
would have to be in some type of relationship where I can, gauge where she's coming from.
Exactly. Exactly. So yes, Jada said, I'm not buying them acres and cars and wedding rings. Absolutely. I saw that too, where what's that housewife name that I thought was pregnant by this guy, but clearly she's not because she was in Vegas, I think, buying wedding rings or an engagement ring for him.
Now, see, I'm totally against women and proposing to men. That's crazy for a woman to get on her knees to ask the man to marry him. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I
I
would
guess I'm
never.
old fashioned on that one.
I would never. Just because that's not me. That's not authentically how I feel. I feel for me, like there's still some gender roles I don't want to tamper with. Like I feel, I always say this, like I don't like taking out the garbage. I really do feel like that's a man's job to do, to take out the garbage. Um and like building something like if we were extending out the um deck or something gets broken in that, like you handle that. I don't do that. But like the cooking and the cleaning and stuff like that, I feel I should do that. Because one, I know how I like things done, and you just get in my way trying to help me. And then also, I feel like that's my way, that's my love language of giving back to my man, is to take care of him, make sure he's properly fed, his meals are here, his house is clean, our house is clean, and he's well taken care of. That's the way I show love.
Yeah, because I'm
So
a stickler for gender roles.
yeah,
I'm
I
really
feel, yeah, I feel like that's something that I would not ever want to veer away from.
yeah, yeah.
Is to make sure that things are done in the household. Outside of the household, like bills and stuff like that, like we can, if we're married, go, half on them. Like I pay the utilities and he pays the mortgage, or I pay the mortgage and he pays like we can decide amongst ourselves how we're gonna do it, or we can put everything into a pot and either he'll manage it or I'll manage it. Doesn't matter. But like that kind of role would be clear once we're married, like who's going to take care of what. If you want to do it and you feel like you're better at it than I am, fine. If you want me to handle it, fine too. I don't much mind that part. I just want to make sure that we are both contributing to the running of the household, because I've been in situations where I had to run the household and clean it and do all of those things, and my husband at the time did not do anything. So that will not happen again. But in terms of us both, doing stuff, just because like, exactly. Um, I will want that role defined
Yeah,
if I were to get
yeah,
married again.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jessica says that rapper. Yeah. I don't know what his name is. Somebody will know it in here. But yeah, I was like, okay, so she's buying him stuff, and she's like in the video, like, you don't have to do nothing. This, I guess, for his birthday or something. And she was like, you don't have to do nothing. I paid off everything. It's cash. It's da da da. Whatever, whatever. I was like, well, okay. Is he gonna put a ring on it with all of that? Like, and then the subject came up, would you do that for a man if you weren't married to them? I personally would not, because what if the relationship goes south? You know, what if the relationship goes south, even if you're married? Like, at least if you're married, you have paperwork that says, okay, if we were ever to get divorced or something going to happen, it's in his name. So he can either keep it or we can sell it and go half on it or whatever it is going to be. But at least there'd be some paperwork on it. When you're in a relationship, where's the paperwork, bro? Where's
Well,
the
then let me ask you this:
uh-huh.
why is it that if a man and a woman gets engaged, he puts a ring on it, and something happens? Why doesn't she give that ring back?
Why doesn't she give the ring back?
Right.
I believe in giving the ring back. I do. I
But a
believe
lot
in
of
giving,
women don't, though.
huh?
A lot of women don't believe in that. They'll keep the
Yeah.
ring and sell it or whatever.
Yeah, no. I mean, I did do that for my ex, but you know, there were extenuating circumstances in that case.
You see, there's always going to be extenuating circumstances. And
Well, I
in
mean,
a woman's mind,
it depends on what the breakup is. So in my case, you know, you forfeited your right to anything because of the
no.
mere fact that you wrecked our house.
See,
You wrecked our
so now
household.
you're putting in amendments now.
I'm saying if you violated like he did, would you expect to keep the ring? What you gonna do with it? Give it to that
No.
next chick?
Well, what are you going to do with it? Oh.
Exactly what I did do. I took it to the jeweler and had it turned into a ring that I could put on my middle finger.
Ah, see?
Jessica
But you
says,
kept it, though. See, you kept it
I,
for a reason, though. What was the reason to keep it?
the reason to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
was
what was the
going.
reason?
I was actually going to keep it for my children in
Okay.
case, you know, they needed it for any reason, or if I need, you know, if they need to like get money or whatever, they can use the ring to do that. That was the original plan.
I said I was thinking the plan was to pass it down in case one of them wanted to get married to use the ring.
Oh no, that ring is tarnished. I would not want that ring to go on somebody else's finger. With all the backlash and the tarnishment that happened. No.
I would have almost
I
felt
would
better
rather
if you
them
sold
sell
it.
it and get the money
Yeah.
to buy another ring. That could have happened. That can still happen. Like my son can take the ring that I got as the middle finger ring and take that and get a ring for his future bride.
Right. Well, you see
That
what
I don't
Jada
mind
said,
at all.
right? You see what Jada said.
I didn't get to that one yet. Let me read
Okay.
Jessica first. Jessica said, I expect gifts, but I wouldn't give a man something elaborate. A guy told me it was emasculating to do that. So I think you should be careful.
And you heard what
Okay.
I said. I don't. Yeah, I feel kind of weird about that too. When it's whenever a woman gives me something that's too expensive, it just doesn't seem right to me. It's something I wouldn't. I don't accept easily unless we were married. I mean, I have gone so far as to giving women back their cash apps because I don't feel comfortable with it.
Do you still do that, by the way?
I have, yeah. I did it recently. I feel weird about that, Bella. I can't. My father grew up, you know, teaching us because he has 3 sons. You do not live off no woman. You don't accept stuff like that off no woman. Money, you know, gifts, stuff like that. It's like I'm saying. For me, it's a certain amount that I just won't go over. If it goes over that, I don't feel comfortable. Like I said, even when I was married, I was, you know, I had some kind of issues with it. I had to step back and understand, but
Jada just joined us. Jessica said, I prefer to give gifts that are very thoughtful, though. I also like acts of kindness. Same here. Same here. That's one of my love languages too, acts of kindness. I love that. I love giving and receiving acts of kindness.
what's going on, Jada?
Nothing much. Hello, you guys. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hello, we're
Good,
good.
Hello. Okay, so I wanted to chime in because Brown Girl Bella mentioned not passing on that ring,
Yes.
let me tell y'all something. It brought back an immediate feeling of fear. You hear me?
Mm.
My oldest sister got married in this dress in my mother's beautiful backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she passed that on to my next sister that got married, which also got passed on to my cousin that got married, and they all wore the same dress. They all got married in my mother's backyard, and it was like several different years apart. They
Mm.
all did it, right?
Right.
And then it got passed down to me when I was dating this guy and he kept trying to propose, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
he proposed. He didn't keep trying. He did. He did it. I didn't accept.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I felt like I was young and not ready to I'm not going to say submit, just not submit to him. He just wasn't it. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to marry young and be with this man for all these years and be thinking about divorce all the time. But nonetheless, here it is. They gave me this dress. And I was like, the lies y'all tell. And they all like, why you don't want to wear it? You're going to look so beautiful. Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you
Mm-hmm.
something. Each one of them that wore this dress, their marriage did not last 2 years. You hear me?
Mm.
Each of them that got
Wow.
married in that backyard, again, they did not last more than 2 years. There was
Mm-hmm.
no way I was wearing that dress nor getting married in my mother's backyard. You hear me?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not
So
doing
you're
it.
superstitious, huh,
You
Jada?
listen, at that time I was. And when I say they told me I had to keep that dress because it's a traditional dress. That since what happened with my mother's people in Mississippi, this was something that was a highly expensive dress, okay? It was made very expensive. And so they felt like this was something that was a traditional hand me down. Even if you were going to change what it looked like, it was still something that was passed down. My mother paid a lot of money on this dress. They
Mm.
like, you got to keep it because what if your daughter? I'm like, are y'all crazy? Listen, y'all, I am going on 40 years old. This dress was given to me. This dress was given to me when I was about 20, going on 21. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I got rid of that dress 6 years ago. One of them
Mm.
brought it up and was talking to my daughter about, traditional hand-me-down stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, your mom, she has a dress that you might want to wear when you get married. Now my daughter is 9 years old at the time. And uh, I'm like, you know what? I still do got that dress. Let me tell you something. I just didn't want to do it wrong. I said, when they kids, my sisters and them and my cousin, when they kids get old enough, they might want it. That's why I kept it. But the moment that they started talking about my daughter, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no.
You
Oh,
got definite opinions, right?
listen, I asked their kids if they wanted it. Their kids said no, and I dumped that dress. You hear me? They were so
Mm-hmm.
mad at me. I dumped that damn dress. I was like,
That's
absolutely not.
right.
Absolutely not. I am not, as DOD say, am I superstitious? That has got to be the only thing in my life that I'm superstitious about. The
Mm-hmm.
dress and being married in my mother's backyard, which her backyard is even more beautiful than it was back then. But I'm not doing it. Something going on in the water, and I'm not passing it down to nobody.
Exactly. You don't
Two
want that kind of
years?
karma,
Yeah,
especially when
I
the
mean,
marriages didn't last.
they did not, and we're talking about marriages that were in like the late 80s, because it was
Mhm.
88, the other one was in 90, the other one was in 93, then the other one was in 96. So we're talking about back when marriages could last. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, Jada. How long were they in relationships before they got married?
High school sweethearts.
See, that's why they've already
Mm.
been together for so long.
I
The
don't care
marriage
what the
messed it
reason
up.
was. No, I don't think that's what it is. I'm not going to put that on nobody. I've seen high school sweethearts that get married and have been married, and they are enjoying life to the fullest. So I will
Yeah,
not
but
say
not
that.
these three though. These three
I don't know what.
examples,
Mhm.
they
I
did
don't know.
not.
Maybe they shouldn't have picked drug dealers. I have thought about that as well. They
Mhm.
they did pick drug dealers,
The bad
and
boys, huh?
The bad boys. But here's what's funny. It wasn't the bad boys. Oh, wait. Let me take that back. One of them was not a drug dealer. He was an upstanding man, and he was a police officer for years. So one of them husbands were not. The other three were. But at the same time, oddly, all of them, except for one, were cheating. And the
Wow.
one who had the upstanding husband was definitely the one cheating. Okay. I was like, okay.
Well, your position, your job, that doesn't remove you from a chance from the chances of cheating. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you do. It's your
Oh, I,
character.
I don't believe I will ever cheat. I don't it you mind you, you didn't hear me mention none of that as a reason not to have that dress. It was just I'm like, it's something about that dress or the backyard, one of the two, and I'm not gonna do it. And my mother cussed me out one time because we had this discussion. It was right after I got rid of the dress. I got
Mm.
fussed at and everything. And I said, I kept telling y'all I didn't want this dress. And when I asked who want the dress, nobody wanted it. Y'all giggled and said I was going to keep it forever. And when I got home that night, I dumped that dress. And I
Mm.
was like, I won't even get married in your backyard, as beautiful as it looked. Oh, my mother was so offended. I'm like, I'm so sorry, mama, but it's something about your backyard or that dress. And I don't believe in continuing on with negative spirits. So I'm
So it
just
was
going to
the
leave
backyard, the dress, or both.
or both. Cause I'm like, I can't
Jada
believe
said
how many
she ain't hedging her bets that it was just the
mm-mm,
dress or just the outdoors. She getting rid of everything.
everything. There's something about that energy that ain't right. And I was like, I
Mhm.
don't know if it was because of the energy that was in it, consisted of women who or all of them but one, women who did not have good intentions when they married the men that they did. And so
Mm.
that
Well,
I don't want that energy.
well, let me ask you,
Or
the original wearer of the dress was your mom. How did her marriage did it last?
my mother's marriage lasted all the way up until she had to leave him. Does that count? He was abusive. He was
Okay.
abusive and he slept around a lot in
Hey,
Mississippi.
we were just talking about you, Terry.
Hey, Terry, we sure were. So yeah, that's what happened there. My mother stayed with him. All of my sisters have the same father. I am the Marvin Gaye in the backseat baby.
Ooh.
So hey,
Okay.
I can only say it the way it was. I was the Marvin Gaye in the backseat baby, where after my mother finally, decided that she was completely done after she had already left him 3 years prior. She finally got out on these streets, and I was the Marvin Gaye in the backseat baby. So, yeah.
All
I
right
find it
now.
funny. I'm sorry, but it's the way that I laugh off of
Yeah.
being the only one.
I know a lot of people believe in the transfer of energy, negative or positive. So
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? My mother is one of them type of women that believe in marriage. If you are a married person and you come to my mother for advice, she is going to tell you to stay with your husband. She's going to tell you to stay with your wife. My mother is the matriarch of the family currently, well, yeah, currently, because if something happened to her, then it's somebody else. But nonetheless, people come to her for her sound advice because she is a good woman. Even though y'all, I must say,
Of
after my daddy,
course.
my mother was like a pimp. But nonetheless, um, yeah, I don't think that my mother transferred that energy to that dress
Mm-hmm.
because by the time my mother had decided to be that way, I was like almost a teenager. So it wasn't that. This
Mm-hmm.
dress just had bad juju,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from the sister that it was, I am not surprised.
well, I know a lot of
Because she
women at a certain age, they believe in sticking in the marriage regardless of situations. But for me, I don't believe a woman should stay in an abusive where she's getting a relationship when she's getting beat down and all of that. She should
Mm-hmm.
get
I
out.
don't believe in it.
I
I
don't
don't
believe in it.
believe
Yeah,
in it.
I
But if
don't
you
believe in
listen to my
just
mother,
for
she'll tell you to
abuse.
stick in it. She'll tell you to
No,
go to counseling. She'll tell you to pray, and I'll be like, "Ooh, child."
there ain't enough prayer in the world.
No, but
There really
again,
isn't.
we're from Mississippi, so for a lot of them, they stuck with theirs. Either they stuck with
Right.
them or they killed them, one of the two.
Oh
Um,
Yeah.
Lord. And
you know what I'm
and I
saying? They
believe
ate
it
that pie
too.
and never woke up, okay?
Hey, Medea used to say, I could make you a sweet potato pie in 3 days, you be dead.
Girl, yes. You hear me?
I
That is
was
exactly
like,
what it is.
yep. I said my grandmother was the queen of sweet potato pie too. I was like,
Let me tell you something. That peach cobbler, if you ever with a woman from Mississippi from back in the day, if she was mad at you, you better not eat that peach cobbler. Because
oh,
most likely, peach cobbler is laced with peach seeds in it, which can kill you. If I'm not mistaken, that's the peach
oh,
the peach pit that kills you.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, see, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yikes.
But I
Hmm.
love peach cobbler.
Don't don't let no woman from the South, don't let no root woman, Louisiana women, none of them Creole with the K.
And Jada,
Mm-mm.
that's where I'm from, Louisiana.
Is it? Ooh, you better be
Yeah,
careful.
yeah.
Be careful. Be careful. If there's a one, oh well, you with somebody now, DLD. But I was like, if there's a woman that is chasing you hard and you ain't gave in, don't you eat her spaghetti.
Oh,
Right. Right.
right.
I know about that. Yeah.
Oh
Right.
my
I heard
goodness,
that one. I heard that one before.
man. If she from
As a,
Georgia, don't let her make you no drink.
is she from where? Don't
Mm.
let her make you drink?
Georgia. She from Georgia. Don't let her make you no drink. My
Uh-oh.
cousin used to say the same thing that y'all know about with the spaghetti. She used to put it in the drink. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
I like and my cousin is like in her 60s now. And I be like, boy, she used to do some stuff back in the day.
Mm.
Just sitting in the kitchen watching, like, so he drinking that and he ain't gonna be able to taste it. Okay.
Yep.
So, but anyway, I had to just tell
Yes.
y'all about that. It
Yes.
just poured all in my spirit, like, oh, that wedding dress. Oh,
Yes. And it was something I was gonna ask you while you were talking about that, the calm and the juju. Um, think if I can remember it. So does the same apply to you with gifts that you receive? So like I'm being uh uh chastised for keeping the ring. Would you have kept the ring, Jada?
yes, ma'am. I keep the ring. That is a gift. That is a commitment. I didn't break the commitment. So
Exactly.
this is
It
mine.
wasn't
And
my
whatever I
fault.
gave to you, you can keep. I'm not one of them people.
Exactly.
I am offended if a guy, and thank God a guy has never did it, but I would be offended if a guy came dropping off stuff that I bought him.
Yes. Yes,
It's like,
indeed.
why you bring these back? Because I don't want these. I know you bought these for me. I would be like,
Right. But a lot of
don't
women
even
do
say
that
that
though.
word.
A lot of women go back and get their thing that they gave. They
No,
would
because
want
see,
them
what I
back.
gave somebody is conditional, or excuse me, it's unconditional. I
Mhm.
don't do it based on, what I'm getting from you and all this other stuff, unless you treat me bad or something. But if I buy you something, I bought it within likeness and within the full heartedness of my nature to feel like this is something
Right.
that you should have.
I
So
agree.
if God
Yeah,
put it
that's
on
where
my
it
heart
should
to
be.
give, I don't need it back. So that's the same way I
Exactly.
feel about a ring. You united with me with this ring in front of God, in front of people, and you want me to give it back just so you can have it back, most likely so you can try and hurt my feelings or something. Sir, you won't get that ring back. You're gonna waste all your energy trying to ask me for that ring.
Exactly. And what was non-surprising, because that was not his nature, is that he did not ask for it back. Um, and I knew he would never, because that's just not in his nature to ask for stuff back. And he's given me, like, my ex-husband's given me jewelry and stuff like that. I still wear it. Like, listen, I did not break the bounds of our matrimonial agreement. As a matter of fact, if you look back at the story I told for my marriage, you'll know that I actually did not take vows from my husband, which neither one of us knew at the time was going to happen. But
Okay.
when we went to the day before ceremony where they go through like, the marriage and stuff. First of all, we could not stand there because he was like, it's bad luck if you stand here the day before you're going to get married. So let's put your stand-ins in. So my maid of honor, his groomsmen, they were our stand-ins for the marriage pre-ceremony, whatever. Then we get to
Mm.
the day of, and this pastor, he's since passed away, so God bless him, but he said, "Oh, I'm from Virginia, and in Virginia, the man says vows to the woman doesn't say vows to the man." So that came up in every conversation that we had that got,
Mm.
uh turned into an argument. I was like, well, you married me, I ain't marry you. Like, basically, you gave vows to me to love, honor, protect, and serve, and all that good stuff. I did not. So, sir, you need to straighten up and fly right. You
Yeah.
want to be in this marriage, you gonna start straighten up and fly right.
Well,
So, for me, I didn't feel like when it was over that it was my fault. I felt that one, we were probably too young when we got married.
mhm.
Two, he was not ready to be in a monogamous relationship, clearly. Um, so I feel like he too needed a lot more growing up. And they do say, women mature faster than men do. And to a certain extent, I believe that. But I believe that certain men who did not grow up with maybe a strong father figure in the home or a strong base in the home, because my
Okay.
ex-husband, he had his mother and father in the home, so that wasn't the issue. He knew what a strong parental unit was, and he knew what a strong marriage was because they were together through death do them part.
Okay.
So he knew how to do that. He saw how to do that. I just don't think he applied what he saw to the marriage he was in.
Mm.
And so, again, that's not my fault because I did all the right things. I feel I did all the right things. And in hindsight, he felt I did all the right things. So I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't get up here and say himself. Like, he knows he messed up. He knows it's his fault that we got divorced because both of us went into the marriage saying we're not going to get divorced. And I said the
Mhm.
only reason I would do that is if you betrayed me in such a way that I felt I could no longer be in this marriage, whether it was, a physical abuse thing, a mental abuse thing, or a cheating thing. I said those are my non-conditionals. Those are things that will make me say, you know what, I've got to go because
Mm.
there's no way in hell that I'm going to be in a marriage where you have betrayed me in a way that there's another child now in this relationship. Now, I've seen plenty of marriages that have survived it, but in all of those cases, the women are always in the back of their head like, this could happen again because I accepted it. I brought it in. I brought the child even into my home because I felt that they needed to see their brothers and sisters or whatever they felt, but they allowed that to happen because they accepted it and brought it in. And I said, I could not, in all good consciousness, as a woman, bear that responsibility. Because I think if you messed up that badly, you need to own up to it and you need to live with it. It's not for me to carry, it's for you to carry.
Look,
So
honey,
there,
this
so
ain't
there should be a
fences.
punishment then.
I'm not calling it a punishment. I'm calling it, you reap what you sow. You sowed that. You
Yeah.
betrayed our marriage vows. You betrayed our covenant by sleeping with someone other than your wife and then producing a child from it.
Which
I
meant
think
being unprotected.
Exactly, which means you could carry that bone right into our home, and then I am at risk for STDs or worse.
Yeah, because you know, once they
Hell
it one thing I had to explain to a relative of mine is that I didn't feel like his wife should take him back because he was, trying to ask me to have a talk with her. I'm like, I don't feel like your wife should take you back because before they got married, he had a baby, and after they were married, he had another baby, and he's like,
Hello,
well,
Lovey. Thank you for
he like,
coming.
I made the mistake, and I'm like, but this is a second time you're saying
Smash
this
that
in a
like button.
situation where you were in a relationship with this woman. Okay, you promised her you weren't going to do it. You got married and you did it again. And not only that, but can you imagine what her mind is going through where she has to think about not only did you be unprotected once, but you were unprotected twice, where you made a baby. That means that you're most likely unprotected all the time when you with somebody else.
And that's a
I would
pattern
not take
too.
you back.
That's a
Yeah,
pattern.
that's a whole pattern. No. How do you get a chick pregnant twice? Or
Mm-hmm.
not a chick, but two chicks pregnant right before you got married and then after you get married? So you got two kids. You've been with this woman and you got two kids that are not hers and only one with her. She should not be taking you back. You're not ready for the type of woman that she is.
Yeah, she shouldn't have got
Why
married in
allow
the
her to be
first place.
miserable?
Yeah, she
You
shouldn't
say
have got
what?
married she shouldn't have got married in the first place.
Yeah,
When
she
you
should have
had
got
that
married in the
first.
first
Okay,
place. But
Michelle,
see,
welcome in. Don't forget to smash that like
hello,
button, guys.
hello. She shouldn't have. But you know what? That's because women have this conversation. I don't know why. I will never teach my daughter this conversation. But women have the conversation of, well, girl, it ain't like y'all married.
Mm.
And that allows women to forgive a whole lot of stuff that they really should
Mm-hmm.
not have. It's like, well, girl, y'all ain't married. When y'all married, that's going to change.
No, it's not.
No, boo.
No, it's
Majority of the
not.
time, that
Because
does
you
not
already gave
change.
him license to do that by not checking
Yes.
it in the relationship.
Like, I just couldn't believe. I'm like, girl, you, first of all, how how do you expect for a woman to take you back like that? And you want me as a woman to go to this woman and tell her, girl, bite the bullet. That's a good man because he paid the bills.
Well, Jada, let me ask you, did she take him back?
No. I in turn went to her and had a conversation and let her know that at the end of the day, this is my relative, but I am going to tell her the truth about her situation. And I am going to tell her that what she needs to do is to let him go, because the moment that she ends up spazzing out and hurting him, the family's going to be on her tail. They ain't going to care that he cheated. You took him back. That's on you. The
Mm-hmm.
moment you crack his head over with something, the family is going to be looking at you, not him. So save yourself the issue, save yourself the drama, save yourself the heartache, and go on and let them go. And she was just like, I hate when women who's single be trying to tell me what to do. I was like, girl, listen, you single whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That resonated in that brain. She looked at me all weird and she was like, oh my God, you're right. I've been feeling like I was in this alone for years. I'm like, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Let
Because
that
you
Negro
were.
go. Yeah, he was so mad at me. He like, I take care of her. Sir,
Hmm.
you don't take care of her. You're breaking her down.
Yeah.
She's too
Well,
young to
that's
be
what
broken down.
Kevin Samuels teaches. As long as the man's paying the bills, the woman should shut the hell up, regardless of where.
Mm.
Mm. Shut the hell
Mm.
up is a difference from be battered and beaten. Okay. He said, shut the hell up. Don't come home nagging all day about nothing that matters. Because there
Well,
are women who do that.
well, of course, yeah, but they're not happy women. They can't be happy if they're doing
Yeah,
that.
but who fault is that a man decided to marry a woman who was not happy? He knew that before he got into that relationship. Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
Before you married this chick, because I hate when guys be like, you know what, my wife this, my wife that, but you knew that before you
So
married
you
her.
don't think
Even if
women,
she
both
had
men, ever
progressed
may
into,
change?
I was just about to say that. I know women can progress because so can men. But at the same time, women are mostly interchangeable. There are signs in her that you will notice that some guys just look past because it's convenient for the other stuff that they like. And then once the stuff that she's done starts to steamroll because you've been allowing it, suddenly she becomes this horrible woman that y'all just couldn't believe turned out to be like this. But she showed you that way back in the day. She showed you
So
that.
that's a good point. So, uh, especially with the topic that we're having tonight, because if she started off like, well, if she started off like that, that's the good guy versus the bad guy, right? If the good guy allow her to do that, she's going to continue to do it. Whereas the lady doesn't respect, and so she's going to run over the guy. So she would rather have a dude that's not going to allow those type of things to happen, which is more than likely, the bad guy, the abusive guy, right?
That's not all women. See, the
No,
situation
not
that you're
all women, of
speaking
course not.
of.
Welcome in, Mr.
Okay, because
100 Rounds.
Mr. 100 pounds is back. Hello. Look like you back with
We're
a whole
gonna
new
get your
picture.
attention, Jada.
Hello. But at the end of the day, men make the choices on how a relationship starts.
Right.
Can we
Absolutely.
just agree on that part?
I
Because see,
agree.
a woman cannot go to a man and without a man having like a mental issue of thought, a woman cannot go to a man and say, "You're my man." But a man can go to a woman at any given point and say, "I want you to be my woman." Now, whether she say yes or no is different, but the man controls that, just like he controls who he marries.
But that's what I'm
So
saying. So if the good guy, the one that wants to do right by his woman, if the woman is not respecting that, then he's gonna catch hell.
then he picked the wrong woman. Are you not catching that drift? You guys
No,
pick it. So
huh?
if you pick the woman that's not treating you right, that doesn't mean that women want bad boys. That means you picked a woman who was not right. So
Okay,
don't blame
so,
us
so then
because
what? So
there's
then what
plenty
does
of
she
us good
want then?
women.
Then Jada. So then what does she want then?
She don't want you. That's what she don't want.
So,
Mm.
so that's what I'm saying. So then she doesn't care about how
Who
you treat
says you're
her.
the good guy? Who says you're the good guy?
No. But I'm saying I'm saying by definition, if you treating her in a way where you take her out, you don't cuss her out, you don't put your hands on her, you don't cheat on her, that to me is a good guy.
See, that can be. Oh, excuse me. Wait. Let me backstate. I say that
It's
to men
more
often.
to being a good guy than
I don't
bad.
want the women, your women, to be tripping. I called you the wrong word. It, everybody knows that I say that to just about anybody, man, woman. Don't nobody come beating me up today, okay? I don't want nobody jumping through my window. But sir,
I see now you're gonna sound like Jovi. I hear it coming.
man, I
I
had to
hear it
hurry up
coming.
and backtrack that one. No, I gotta remember I'm talking to DOD. But so listen, that would be the same as saying men don't want good women.
Mm.
When the actuality is women are picking the wrong men.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I threw a
again,
question
it's
in
your
the chat,
choice.
Jada. Hang on. So I threw a chat question in, which will help with what you're about to say. Should the man or the woman be the one who pursues? So should the man or the woman be the pursuer?
You want me to go first, DOD?
Yeah, go first.
Like, go ahead.
The man should be the pursuer
I agree.
Why?
because the woman is supposed to have herself ready. She's supposed to prepare herself to be the type of woman that she aspires to be towards the man that she desires to have. So if she's too busy chasing around the fellas and not working on herself, that
Mm-hmm.
presents a problem. So the men, when they're ready, they pursue what it is that they want. Again, they are the ones who make the decision on if you're going to be married to him or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about a woman finding, it's about a man finding. So,
Absolutely.
just have yourself ready. Do you focus on you, get yourself together. The right man will find you. I just told a young lady that last weekend. She kept saying, "Where do you keep finding all of these good men? Every time I'm talking to you, there's some good guy that's talking to you. He calling you all sorts of sweet names and all this other stuff. They all know that you ain't the only woman, or excuse me, that they ain't the only guy, and blah 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 blah. They be good men, this, that, and the third, pay for this. You know why? because I focus on me.
Mm-hmm.
I focus on me, and they notice that, and they like what it is that I present to them. So I don't have a problem with grabbing hold of good men.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a problem with some of these issues that some of them have. But
Mm-hmm.
it ain't like they be know me or something. But
Now, Jay, I want Bella to read that, but before that, what is a good man to you? What do you see as a good man?
okay, you said to me.
Right.
So
For
are you
you.
saying a
For
good
you.
man to me and for me?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because sometimes people be like, "Oh, but why he got to be like that?" Not all good men. But you asked me, so I got to make sure that you're talking about me. So for me, a good man has to pay the bills. I should not have to worry about money conflicts rolling around through the house. Um, that should be met. Those issues should be taken care of. Hold on, I'm sorry, 1 second. Yes, Buttercup. But why? Why are you looking for jeans at 10:40 at night? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I dump clothes on my bed in there. If you want to go and grab all your clothes and go and hang them up and things, you can. Hello. Sorry about that, you guys. I also meant to hit mute. Please excuse me. Um, so it would be for that. It would be for him to dress appropriately. I do not like men who do not dress appropriately. I don't like the sagging. Um, that bothers me a lot. I don't expect for my man to get drunk. He can drink, but he can't drink. He can't get drunk because when we are together or whether we are apart, I need him to be aware of his surroundings. That is a bother for me. I don't really drink, so I don't want to be out with him and I got to carry him around to the car. I don't see that as attractive. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't judge people who do it. I just don't feel it's attractive for me. It's a bother to my brain. Um, so I don't need him to do that. I don't need him to make foolish decisions. He must have some trust in me because I don't like insecure men. I'm not going to be walking on eggshells. Um, I could always, of course, if he wants to know something, that's fine. He could check into it. But I don't expect to be harping on it or it keep being brought up. Like, I'm not sure about if that was even real. I don't have time for those. So the insecurity has to be out the door. Um, so providing, respecting, um, I like a romantic man. He don't have to know everything, but if he can read a Pinterest list of ideas, that works for me. Um, I would prefer. Oh, wait. We said what's a good man for me. I was about to. I got ready to say some other stuff, but physical looks. I was about to say some physical details. Um, so let me see. He must be spiritually aligned. I don't really care too much what his religion is. But he has to be inclined because then I know he at least has faith, purpose, and a direction. So those three things work for me. As long as he has that, I'm not going to harp on what it is he believes in. It's okay. But again, he must be spiritual in a sort of way. I told y'all how I want him
So
to dress.
spiritual or religious?
Spiritual.
Okay.
I don't get into the religion thing. That's why I said I don't really care what the details are. But if he is spiritual, I know he has purpose, direction, and faith.
Mm-hmm.
So a spiritual person, you can't be spiritual without some sort of faith.
Right.
You can't be spiritual without some sort of purpose, etc. So as long as he is spiritual, I can deal with that. Um,
But now, when you first came on to the live stream tonight, one of the first things you typed were that you don't want to use the L word. Now because we were in Jovi's live stream earlier today, we know what that meant. The L word.
you said
My
L
name.
word?
My name. Remember when you said when you first came in that you don't have
Yes.
to
I
use
didn't
the
want
L
to.
word. You don't want to say
Yes.
my name. We
Yes.
all know. We all three know. But. But I haven't heard you
Because I
use the
walked
L
in and I
word.
seen y'all talking, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be saying Lefford and his
Yeah,
woman
no,
come
we were
attack me
just
because I
joking
read that.
earlier today. We were joking earlier today. Bella and I, we were joking.
I
But
know. I know.
yeah, but I haven't heard you use the L word in this
He
conversation
said, but
yet. You haven't used the
hello,
L word in this conversation, right?
hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Uh-oh. Did
Did she
something
mute
happen?
herself? No, we can hear her, so she didn't mute herself.
Yeah, no, she's not muting on my end. I want to read Terry's note since I have it up here while we have a pause. He says, well, traditionally the man should, but there's nothing wrong with women who initiate the first inclusion, especially if the guy hasn't noticed her yet and she really likes him. That's normally me. So, oh, I guess she dropped off and came back on another stream. Here she goes. Hey, boo.
It's going
Still
to be an
showing me on
echo.
the other.
Okay,
There
there
we
we go.
go.
I took the
Okay.
other one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it somehow it went out. You okay, so after you said, you and Bella were joking, you said but.
I
And
said,
I ain't hear nothing after that.
I said in your list of good men, I didn't hear you use the L word. In your list of what a good man is.
Love.
Yeah, I haven't heard you use the word love yet.
Love?
Hmm.
Oh,
Does that matter to you?
oh. Huh.
Because a lot of women nowadays they look at it as a business transaction now. They don't care about love. It's
Mm,
a
Here's the
business
thing.
transaction for them.
I
Here's the
do. I
thing.
care about
I rate love as you doing the things that gets me going or that I want out of you. I feel that's love. I don't feel it's love when a guy is telling me that he loved me and I pay the bills and I come home to you and okay, I hear you, but did you hear me tell you in the beginning that I like a romantic man? If you love me, you need to become romantic. You get what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily not need love, but I need it shown in the ways of this man doing these type of things that I need him to do in order to be my type of man. And then I feel love, if that makes sense.
So you rather
Otherwise,
have it shown than spoken.
yeah, all of that talking about love, I've had guys often tell me they love me, and I'd be like, but you ain't loving me how I need to be loved. So that's not love. Like if I tell you I don't need certain name brand things, and the other things that I like are made by this brand here, but you want to buy me the other brands because you need people to know that you can buy me Prada and Gucci and what's that other company on that Coach. You want people to see that a Birkin. I don't. Have you seen a Birkin? I'm never going to carry this purse. So for me, a man would think I'm showing you I love you because I'm spending all this money. You're not spending it how I need you to spend it in order for me to know that you understand me and how I want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
So
sense.
that's where I come at with that. I want love. I desire love. And I know how to give love. I realize that. The only reason why I stuck around with a guy as long as I did, past all of my rules, is because I was like, you know what? But I need to know if I can deal with certain different things that I always said that I couldn't. So he was like a testament to all of the stuff that I kept saying before. I don't like that. But people were saying, how would you know if you don't try? He just happened to be a conglomerate of all of that.
It's like a conglomerate.
He was a conglomerate of all
so,
of that.
so
And I
listen.
was still able to love him. I was like, okay, so now I'm ready. I can leave him because he's hit my final straw. I can leave him and
Mhm.
go out into the world and be able to say, no, I don't want to date your kind because I know I don't like that kind. I know I'm not happiest with that kind. Might be some
Agreed.
fun in the beginning, but after a while, I want to get rid of you.
Agreed. Agreed. I think for women, and I want to read P and Q's comment too. She says, I say man, a woman shouldn't have to be searching for a man. If he's out there, he will come your way. Do you and allow the rest to fall in place. Well, here's the thing with that. I hear too many of our sisters saying that they are having a hard time finding a good man. And so my response to that always is, well, what are you looking for that you
Exactly.
can't find it?
Exactly.
Um, because me, I've never had a problem attracting men to me. My issue is it going to is it the right attraction that's going to benefit me as well as him in the long run? Am I the right fit for that person? And is he the right fit for me? That's always
True.
been the dilemma or the issue that I have. Not in attracting them, because if you carry yourself a certain way and you treat yourself like a queen, because I firmly believe if you don't believe it, if you don't carry around your crown and walk with it with your head held high, no man is going to want a woman who does not hold herself in that regard. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because the way she acts, the way she speaks, the way she dresses, and how she responds to men and to women. Because nobody wants, like, I tease, but nobody wants a jealous woman. And I'm not a jealous woman. I always feel like, hey, every woman is beautiful in their own way, and so am I. So the ones who are attracted to me because of what I bring to the table. And if you are attracted to me and you are for me, then you're not going to be with another woman because I am what you want. So that's how I pursue my life. I don't pursue my life with, like, oh, I gotta, do something to keep this man, or I've gotta say something to keep this man, or I gotta be, on him 24/7 and see what he's doing. If I'm doing that, then I have no time to do me. So
mhm.
I want to make sure that my life is fulfilled, and I am doing the best that I can to always be that woman, that queen with a crown. So I'm going to put more emphasis on what I am and who I am and what I'm doing, and less focus on what he's doing out there. Because if he is going to be doing me dirty, quote unquote, and messing around or flirting around with other women, it's going to come out in the wash. It's going to come out as we talk. It's going to come out as we develop into a relationship. It's going to come out. Why? Because that's something that will be revealed to you when it's ready to be revealed to you. It was revealed to me in my marriage. It was revealed to me before my marriage when I was dating somebody and he cheated. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, okay. So I know not to deal with that type of man, that type of person, because it's going to come out. What you do, my grandmother used to say, what you do in the dark will always come into the light, because
Yes.
it has to. That's just the law of averages. Whatever you do, however you move, it's going to come out in some way, form, or fashion. So I don't live my life with fear that, oh, my man is going to cheat on me, or, oh, I got to watch what he's doing or what he's doing. No,
That's
And
too
if you
much
think you
work.
live your life like that, honey, there's no way to live. It is really no way to live.
You ain't getting paid to be Inspector Gadget, honey. Just if you got to do all that, just leave the person. And that goes for
Exactly.
men
Like
or women.
it's not,
If
it's
y'all got to
not,
I
do all
agree.
of that, if
I
you got to
agree.
do
it's
all of
not
that
necessarily.
to keep your mate in order, or the person that you
Mhm.
dating trying to get serious with in order, uh, cut your losses. Too many people are wasting a whole lot of time with
With the
folks that they
wrong
should have
people and
dropped.
worried about the
Yeah,
wrong
you
thing.
should have dropped them when you were with them on the first date. For a lot of folks, like you caught all of that on the first date. Why you didn't? You should have just left them alone.
Yeah, Mr. 100 Round said, if the lady energy right, a man will walk 1,000 miles for her. Sometimes it's best to let your heart speak. There you go.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
that's
because you
from a
know what?
man's point of view. Okay, ladies?
Here's a
Hey,
funny.
Ray. Hey,
In
Sue.
my 20s, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Ray. Ow. Oh, but
Hey, or I
so
say man the pursuer, like P Funk said, dog chasing the cat. Absolutely.
dog chasing the cat. Okay, so listen, in my 20s,
Mhm.
um, because I've always had men try to talk to me, even when I was younger. And I mean like high school. And they weren't trying to like screw me. At least not while I was illegal. But what I would tell women when I was in my 20s was just stuff that I thought was common sense. If you want a man that can cook, when you at the grocery store, go to a good grocery store. When you're there, you meet a man, look at his cart. If his cart is full of junk food, sis, he ain't cooking. There's no cooking going on no, he ain't it. You want a man that makes six figures? Well, sis, you got to go where the six-figure men go. What are you talking about? You can't be talking about you want to date a six-figure dude, but you hanging out at the bar in the hood. How did you think that a six-figure dude was gonna come out of a bar in the hood? Now, I'm not saying that they cannot. It might be a random day, but you're going to the same bar every weekend thinking you're gonna pick up on a six-figure brother when you see everybody in there is struggling with their five figures. Everybody in the bar is making less than 30K a year. How did you think you was gonna find a six-figure brother in here with smoking thugs? How did you think that was gonna work? You want a man to be respectful. When you met him, he wasn't respectful. You had to check him on how to behave, but you still decided to give him a chance. Come on now. Anybody look cute and adorable for you the first 2 months. Well, nowadays, for the first 2 hours of your date, if you get the chance to go on a date. Because some of them be like, hey, girl, what you doing? You drink, you smoke? Why don't you come chill with me? Like, I'm sorry, sir. I know you could tell by the way that I walk that me and you are not compatible. But I do appreciate it. I think that in my head. I don't say that to guys because,
yes,
I'm originally from Detroit. They've been done slice my neck.
Yeah,
I know that's right. I want to read this this comment from the Miss Yo-Yo Show. Hey, Auntie Yo-Yo.
Hey.
Every now and then I would have dropped a hanky on the floor, but if the hanky wasn't picked up, then I'm out. Chivalry.
Miss Yo-Yo.
Chivalry. Is chivalry dead?
Yes.
But listen, is chivalry dead?
It's dying. It's definitely dying. It's on life support.
Wow. And why do you think that is?
Because a lot of men, a lot of black men see black women as non-chivalrous, if that's the word, that they can't treat a woman like that. Again, it goes back to a lot of women treating dudes that do that. They see them as weak and they will use them. And a lot of those brothers went through that. And so they're not like opening a door. I opened the door for a sister once at a grocery store. She didn't say anything to me. It didn't bother me. I wasn't looking for no gratitude, nothing like that for just opening the door. But I noticed she didn't do it. And the woman that came right behind her said, thank you. And it was her friend. It was her friend. And I could see the way her friend looked back at her when she said, thank you. It was like, you said, thank you. But the sister that her friend said, thank you. And I didn't see anything. I wasn't trying to hit on them or nothing like that.
But
that's what I was taught to do.
To this day, I kid you not, anywhere I go, if a man is getting ready to open a door before me, he will immediately, don't know this guy from Adam, but he will immediately open the door and hold it open for me to enter first.
Girl.
And I turn around and I always say thank you. Whether it is, a black man, a white man, a Spanish man, an Asian man, I don't care who it is. I will always say thank you, right?
Always.
And I promise you not, 9 times out of 10, especially if he's a black man, he will always say, you're welcome.
I do. Even when I'm going out of the store, if I see a woman walking out, I'll hold the door.
You will hold the door. And wait. I mean, it's just, for me, it's how I was brought up, because my grandmother, from both sides, that's how I was brought up. From my father's side, which is Panamanian and Bajan meaning from Barbados, my grandfather always opened the door for my grandmother when she got in the car, when she got out the car, when they were going inside of a building, and he would keep it open for all the women that walked in past my grandmother. But he would always make sure my grandmother walked in that building first with the door open by him. And if another man was standing there, he would go up and say, "No, I got this." Let the guy go, and he would grab that door.
Yeah.
Always. That's all I saw. My father, same thing. Whenever my mother was in the building, he would open it, even when they got divorced, open that door for her, make sure she was safely inside the building before he pulled off.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When I drop a lady off, I always wait till she gets inside, and then I
Absolutely,
drop her off.
absolutely.
Right, you're right.
And those are sort of things you can't even quantify. Like, if I were to say like what I find attractive in a man, that probably wouldn't be in my list, but it's definitely something that I notice and I take to heart, because I feel like I should have that. I should have a man that thinks so highly of me that he would be like, "Oh no, guy, like go inside. I got this for my lady."
But see, a lot of women these days,
I got this. Like, I don't need another man to hold the door open for my woman.
yeah, but a lot of women these days don't. They don't again. They don't see that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
Because I apologize. As a man, I did not mean to cut you off. I apologize. If you want to continue, you can.
No, I'm just saying. A lot of women these days, they don't. I don't think they know what that word chivalrous means. I don't even think they understand what the word is. So a lot of brothers, they open the door, they'll get that mean look. It just stops brothers from doing it. I've seen it happen. Like I said, it happened to me. I'm just at a place in life where I don't. It doesn't bother me. I don't trip off it because I'm not looking for the gratification of her saying thank you or anything like that. I just hold the door open because I've always done it. I've always taught to do it. But a lot of these younger brothers, they say, "Hey, well, if you don't appreciate it, then it'll never happen again."
Wow, I get it. I get it, because if you don't notice or respect the smaller things, you're never going to appreciate properly the larger things that they do for you.
Okay, so here's my take on the thought, right?
And
I've had guys tell me this, like, man, nowadays I can't stand opening up doors for women and da 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 da. And I'm out here trying to be a good guy. It's the whole same rhetoric. I'm trying to be a good guy. They done turn me into the bad guy. No, sir. Either you're good or you're bad. Either you understand mentally that this chick did the wrong thing, because I mean, most of the time chicks who do that are the ones that are generally hood standard. So you might as well expect that, right? Because you already know what the generation is that you're dealing with. But also, don't take it out on all women. Don't take it out on all women, because there are some women who will appreciate you, just like you don't want us taking it out on all men of stuff that some other guy did, right? So my thought is, if you're a good man, be a good man.
Yeah,
Don't turn into something else to try and prove something to some women. And I've had guys say, if I don't say certain stuff to her in a disrespectful way, like I got to call her a bad bee for her to give me some attention. Why would you even care about the chick who wants you to call her a bad bee? Go and pay attention to the woman who would rather you approach her and call her beautiful.
right.
Call her, pretty or hello. Why do you got to go, hey, what up? You look like a bad bee. You fancy, huh? If you decided that you're going to degrade your mental sense to do that, then you deserve the type of woman that you wanted to go after.
Well, yeah, he knows that's the type of woman in the first place. If he calls her that, and she responds to it, responds positively to it. So, I mean,
hey, there are guys that tell me I'm a good guy, but I had to do this, that, and the third to get my last chick, and she did me like X, Y, Z. Are you surprised? Because you behaved like a bad boy. So you got the chicks who are miserable, and they're going to make you miserable. So what did you expect? I need for men and women to decide that if they want something, they don't have to be the bad person in order to get what it is that they visually see. Because naturally, some people be like, man, but they look good though. And I just want to, maybe I can change them and yada, yada. No, leave them where they are. Leave them where they are. and put yourself in position of places that have the type of people that you want to actually have in your life.
Hey, Kevin, super chat. Thanks for
Hello,
coming.
everybody.
Don't forget to smash that like button.
No, I agree with you,
Smash.
Jada, 100%. What you're saying makes perfect sense. But in this generation, and I'm sure you've seen, this generation don't think the way that we're talking up here. They don't see it that way anymore.
Right.
No, I'm going to give this generation a lot of
Yeah.
credit because I've
I'm not.
taught some of these children. I'm going to give them a lot of credit. These young people, if you sit down and have a conversation with them, like just sit down and don't have nobody else in the room. Watch how much common sense actually comes out of them. I have witnessed it multiple times. And then I have to always ask the question, well, why do you act like that? Well,
Well,
you
see,
know, I'm
why are
from
you
the
asking that
streets and
question?
this is what we do and this is how
Exactly.
we have to.
Exactly.
But again,
That's my
if you
point.
don't really want that life, then change where you hang at. A lot of people don't want to because they want to settle where they are because it's easy.
Yep.
In order to be in certain atmospheres, that means you got to do the work. And they don't
That's
really want to do
right.
the work, especially when media done taught them that they ain't got to do no real work. They just need to
can
act
lay
a
back
fool.
in the cut and women will fall to them
But
because of
see,
what they got or what they perceive the guy to have. That's
And
all they're
and
worried
that's
about.
the thing
and the
again, too,
60s,
though.
70s, and some of the 80s baby taught them how to be that way. Y'all allowed this type of stuff, and I'm saying y'all, but I'm included in that.
Mhm.
The 60s, 70s, and 80s babies have taught this new generation how not to care about certain things, how not to
See,
really want to work, how not it that was the 60s, 70s, and 80s baby that became grown. So that means that they were growing up in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, which are some of the worst generations to have come out of our people because we allowed everything that our 40s and 50s mamas and daddies did not want us doing. The 60s and 70s babies rebelled. The
Come
70s and
on, listen
80s
to some of
babies
the
decided to give
songs.
their
Listen
kids
to
what
some
it
of the
is that they
songs that came out
wanted.
during that time.
You say
No
who?
exactly.
romance without finance.
Well, that's what I'm
You had
saying.
in there, why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat? Nothing but the dog in me. Come on.
All of them
What
good
do you
songs were
expect?
there. All of them good songs was there. And then all of a sudden, music changed. The way the parents acted changed. How we dealt with the children and allowed them to do all sorts of stuff and tried to make it seem like it was cute. Why your baby know the Swalla La 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 song at she 4? Why does she know that?
Exactly.
And then when you have a conversation with them, they be like, yeah, I know, but you know, it ends up on YouTube. It gets this. I get views. And it's like,
But
oh, so you
see,
know it's common sense, but you rather be a fool. See,
well, that's
that
what I'm
takes great
saying.
common sense. No,
That's what
but
I'm
listen,
saying.
it's great common sense. We thinking that it's not common sense. But if they got the common sense to know better, but choose differently because they know it's gonna make money, that is still common sense. They're
Mhm.
doing it because they feel like this is what the attention gets. They don't care no more about if it's good or bad. They want to know,
Exactly.
will they go viral and is it money? I have seen so
Mhm.
many well-educated people get online and act like complete fools. It's like, now why you do that? I know you. Why
It's
are you
all
on
about
here?
the bag.
It's about the
The
bag.
bag,
But that
right?
don't mean they don't have common sense. They got common sense to get
The
the
quote
bag.
unquote bag.
It's
What's
just
going
like
to be
drug dealers.
provocative today? What's going to get, people's attention? What's going to go viral? Don't worry about that. Good.
Right. But you got those people who were 70s and 80s babies that came up in 90s and 2000s grown-ups, okay? That
Mhm.
taught them about the drug game and the music game. And that's what turned into now these Instagram thoughts and these YouTubers.
Right.
Because we taught them that you got to get attention by doing these things. We
Mhm.
taught them that.
I've never taught mines that.
But I
I've never
said
taught
I'm
anybody
including.
around me that.
I don't teach my daughter that. I said I'm including us because we are the black people. So I'm only going to be talking about us as a collective. We
Right.
Well,
taught
that's
them.
all I talk about too. I only talk about black people. I'm only concerned about
Yeah,
other
we do.
communities.
I talk about only us, and I believe we taught them that. If it wasn't for us being so lenient, like I tell people, my mother is a 40s baby. So the only thing that she taught me that I feel is a negative is that she taught me, oh Lord, have mercy. She taught me about being bitter. Something
About
that
being
she
what?
taught me about being bitter. She
Okay.
taught me that, but I didn't pick up on that. I completely threw that out of my whole mindset as a child because I just didn't understand it. It seemed crazy to me because there were other people who were still married. They were still happy. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
my mother's bitterness, I understood, but I just didn't want to be her. So everything that she would talk like, act like, I made sure I was never that. I made sure I was never that. My sisters them turned into that. Remember, I told you some of them
Mhm.
cheated on their husbands. So my mother taught them how to be.
Hello,
And
Ruben.
hello, Ruben.
Welcome
But
in,
I didn't want to
Dominico.
be that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that she taught me. If I looked at what my sisters and cousins and all of them did that were 70s and 80s babies, when I say they taught me about the fast life and attention, they
Well,
taught me that. They
I
used to
think it's more
dress
the
me in all
80s
of
and
these
90s.
clothes.
I think it's more
You
80s
say,
and 90s babies.
no, 70s. My sisters and them are 70s babies.
No, yeah,
Actually,
right. But
actually
I'm saying the way the
67,
community is
68, and
today,
70.
right? But I'm saying the
You
way
say
the
who?
I'm saying because the way the community is today, I believe is that people that were born in the 80s and 90s are the reason why we're having these children the way they are today.
Somebody had to teach them. So who taught them about
The
that fast
80s and
life?
90s
And
babies.
the 70s.
No, it
Let's
wasn't.
not forget we had the pimps in the 70s.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Right. The 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. It's
Right.
everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's the 70s babies. When I look at all of my cousins and my sisters and them, they are late 60s and 70s babies. And when I look at their children, I'm like, this is why your children is like this and why their kids are acting like this. Because
Mhm.
they started that. It wasn't the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
right. That's what I'm saying because I've never been around. My people have never taught me to praise or want to be pimps and hustlers and drug dealers and
But
all that other
again,
shit
I
like that.
I know it's not you. I,
Right,
I
but
know
I'm just
it's not
saying.
you.
So I can only go by what I've seen and the way I was raised,
Exactly.
and all of the people in my generation that I come up with, we didn't do all of that. We didn't.
Okay, well then
Exactly.
that would go the same for the statement you made about women only wanting bad boys. So that's all that you see, and I'm telling you
Today,
different.
today. That's what.
Today, I think
What I'm
it's
saying is,
more
I'm explaining.
glorified now. That's
Right,
what it
I'm
is. It's
explaining.
glorified.
Right, I'm
This has gone
right,
on.
right,
Good guys and bad guys has gone on for years.
right. But what I'm saying
This is not a
in
new age
today's,
thing. This is
check it
like a
out,
thing of forever days.
check it out. Even in today's time, even the women want to be bad girls. They want to go out and have as much sex as they want with
Mm-hmm.
And who
whomever
taught them
and
that?
make their own money and
And what generation taught them that?
the 80s
The
and 90s
70s, the
babies.
women's lib.
Right, the
Because that
70s
didn't
baby.
happen until you start hitting the 2000s.
No, that
And in the mid
you
2000s
may
is
not
when it
know.
really started kicking
You
in.
may not know, DOD, but them 70s babies definitely taught these ladies that because they were the
Mm-hmm.
ones in the 90s and the 2000 videos being video vixens.
Mm-hmm.
Now it
They
was
were the
no,
ones
no,
being the
right, but
prostitutes and the drug dealer girlfriends. Those were the 70s babies that grew up as adults being 90s and 2000. So I don't know if that's what you may mean, but those were definitely not the 90s and the 2000s or even the 80s babies. Because to be honest, if you was like 1980 to 1983, just about, maybe 84, you were raised on the notion that you were going to be graduating in the year 2000 or millennial babies or going into the millennial. And we were taught that you had to do better. Whenever I talked to somebody that was 1982, unless their family were just real down in the dug with the drug dealing game, we were all taught from here to California that we were the miracle children. I don't know why that even made it,
Mm.
but we were taught we were the children who were supposed to not do no wrong. We were the ones that were supposed to change the world and create flying cars and all of that other jibber jabber. And then suddenly they told us that we had to do it before the world ended in the year 2000. And
Yeah, because the
but we
world
supposed to
is the
graduate.
end, right?
Yeah. Like I don't know a 96, 97, or 98 baby that didn't think that when they graduated, they were supposed to save the world for the year 2000. I thought it was crazy. But
Hmm.
nonetheless, this is from here to California because I say here from California, I'm in Atlanta, but Detroit to California because my California cousins were talking the same thing. So if you really look at it, I'm gonna be honest with you, DOD, go and look at the changes in different movies, the different changes that women made. Some people say it was the voting rights and all of that, but honestly, take a look at the generations and what leniency was given for each one. What different activities happened in each one. These children are not just out here because they out here. They not just out here because us 80s babies were with the colors and stuff. We were still babies when it came out. All of that color and drugs and all, we were still 80s actual babies. So we are not the cause. We learned from
Gina,
somebody.
I've spoken with brothers here on YouTube, and they feel that they were abandoned, and so that's why they do the things that they do today. I'm talking about brothers in
But
their
who feels
early
abandoned?
30s, between
Wait.
between 30 and
Who feels
between
who feels
25 and
abandoned
35.
right now?
I'm sorry.
Oh, 25 to 35-year-old. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They feel that they were abandoned, and so that's why they're out here wilding out the way that they do. Both the men and both the men and the women. They feel
Absolutely.
that.
Okay,
So
so
I've
these
talked to them.
are
I've talked to them here on YouTube, just like we're having discussions now. I've talked to them just the way we're talking now, and they
okay, but
explained to me they felt
listen.
abandoned.
They felt abandoned,
Well,
right? So you're saying
hold on
this is
before you get to it.
2021.
Hold on. They believe that the old ways of the way we did it with the marching and all of that, they feel that's all outdated. It didn't work, and
It is.
now they're going their own way. And
Okay,
part of that is the what it manifested to the way they're behaving today.
Right.
okay, but here's the
They're
thing.
trying a whole new different approach.
Okay, here's the thing, DOD. This is 2021, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you said guys who are like 25 years old are telling you this, right?
Between 25 and 35, yes.
So that means they were born in 1996,
That's what
right?
I'm saying, right?
So wait, but they had to have parents who were
But they're
born
rejecting
back
their
before.
parents because
They're
I understand.
rejecting
they didn't
all the
believe that
notions
worked,
that
so
they
they're
were
going
brought
their
up
own way.
with and coming up with
Again,
their own
but
form
who
of
taught them that?
what
They
Somebody
taught
had
them
works
the
for
right
them.
way, but they don't believe that was the right way, so they
no.
abandoned that.
There's a lot of 70s parents who were not teaching the right way. I look at my sisters and them children, and I used to tell them stuff, and they used to tell me all the time, wait till you have a child. Then you'll understand. They rebelled against my mother because my mother was so strict. So did my cousins. So did some of my friends that had older siblings. Their 70s, late 60s sisters and brothers rebelled against those from the 40s. They taught the children how to continue to rebel because they raised their kids not really having rules. They were the ones who tried to give their kids everything, didn't want them to go and have to do different stuff. They pampered their kids. And so then you got these children who graduated from 96 to or excuse me, not graduated. They were born in 1996. What was going on in 1996?
Ow.
Because the adults from 1996 were the children from 1970s. So what was it about these parents that raised these kids, and as these kids got older in 2000, 2010, that made these kids say, I'm going to do this?
Well,
Because they looked
whatever.
at what was going on in that time. They looked at, everything that was happening, whether it was viewed on TV or, told in stories by their uncles, aunts, and others. And they said, you know what? I got a different way to make it out. In 1996, a lot of people were into the rap game. Everybody wanted to be a rapper. Everybody wanted to be a producer. Everybody wanted to, get rich that way. In the 80s, it was the drug game. Everybody wanted to be in the drug game to get money quick.
Yep.
So, I mean,
And
it
in the
does
70s, it was the
change.
pimping.
In the
70s was
the
drugs and
pimping.
pimping.
Yeah, like so that it didn't change. The vehicle changed, but the get rich scheme of it all never changed.
Right.
No matter
Right.
what.
That
Just
never
different.
changed.
Right.
It was the leniency of these parents. Cause see,
Now, see,
back when
I
I was
no,
growing up, my
I have
older
to push
parent
back
didn't
on that.
allow me to watch the stuff that the
Yeah,
kids
I don't know if
that
it's
I
the
grew up with
parents so
saw.
much, Jada, as just the environment. Like everywhere you turned on TV, it was somebody glorifying what it is we were not supposed to be doing.
Exactly. But that's what parents allow. I'm gonna give you an example. My mother, right? She's a
Mhm.
40s baby. My mom, even though I'm a 1982 baby and she done had teenagers and she hanging out doing all other stuff, my mother did not allow me to have certain things that I could watch on TV. When I say she knew how to lock the TV down, she knew how to lock the TV down. There's parents who didn't take that extra step. The internet that kids started to get. Do you know that I had internet since I was in like middle school? I did not learn what sex was until I was 16 from a sex ed class and got laughed at. Why? Because my mother made sure that there were limits placed on the internet. There was nothing that I could watch. There was nothing that I could see. I talk to parents and they be telling me about stuff that they kids do and how they can't do this, that, and the third. I'm like, you do know you can do privacy settings, right? My kid be on the internet all night. Well, you do know you can shut down their internet, right? And when I
Right.
tell them that, you know what they tell me? That's too much work.
Wow.
All you gotta do
But
is press
kids,
a couple of buttons.
they
That's too
know
much work.
they know all the runarounds. They can
But
go
they would
past
have to
all of
access
that.
that through their parents' account.
No, they
So
got
that means if your child
phones.
got your internet account or your child can get into your phone and know the password to get into your Xfinity account to switch all that information and allow them to get on, then maybe you letting your kid know too much information.
Exactly.
Kids nowadays, they got workarounds for all of that. Believe me, they got
Listen,
workarounds.
Q, good night, sweetheart. Thank you so much for coming.
thank you, P and Q. Look, I control my nephew's internet up until last year when his mother decided that she was tired of giving him the tablet and then something be wrong with her tablet because
At
he's on
home, right?
porn
At
at
home,
home.
right? But when he
At home.
leaves home, that's what I'm saying. They got workarounds for all that.
But I get
Once
that.
they leave that front door, it's right back on.
Exactly.
Again, I get that part. I said what parents allow. Say what parents allow. It's one thing when it's at school, then at least they know, or at school or with their friends, they know they doing something bad. It's another difference when
Exactly.
you allow it at home and they figure, oh, well, my parent know I do it, so it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but
My parent know I smoke. They rather I
even
smoke at
us,
home than smoke somewhere else.
right? But even us growing up, we did things that we knew was wrong, but we still did it because it was either peer pressure or we just wanted to do it,
Yeah.
even though we were taught
I
one
truly
thing.
believe that it's not just the parents. I think society as a whole are doing our children a disservice because we
I
are
agree.
making it
Yeah, I
so
can
that
agree with
they
that.
are at the same level as adults. And I used to tell my kids, and I still tell them from time to time, like, I'm not your friend. I'm not
Oh
your
yeah.
friend that you could be like, telling me everything and everything's going to be sweet. There's certain things that I'm going to have an opinion on. And there's certain things I do not tolerate. I told my son when he was 11, and I told him every year since, I'm like, you are not ready to have a child. So
Oh
all your
my.
little friends having kids and you think
Hmm.
that's cool, it's not cool. It's 21 years because it's not 18 anymore. It's 21 years that you are going to have to deal with that person that you laid down with that might have been a fleeting moment that you felt all hot and bothered and laid down with this chick and produced a child. And now you have 21 years of being bounded with this woman and with this child that you are not mentally, physically, and emotionally ready for.
I
And
scare
I
my daughter and tell her
to the
for life.
point when you are emotionally ready
Yeah,
for it, talk to me because then I'll let you know if you really are.
but you're
Listen,
right.
I tell my
You both
daughter
are
for
right. But
life
yeah,
she's
you're right,
stuck with
Jen.
that. I be like for life. And my daughter be like, when she first heard me saying it, she didn't get it. I was like, you gonna get it in a minute. Keep watching your
Mhm.
cousins now. And then she understood after a while. And I said it to her one day and she was like, yeah, I get what you mean. Because I see that they were fighting even for her 25th birthday party. I said they were, weren't they? Two grown, almost 50-year-olds still arguing with each other over the children, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, who's this, who's that, who turned is it for that, who should be still putting in money for this birthday party. And the child is not a child anymore. They're 25. So I'd be like, look, for the
Exactly.
rest of their life, you are stuck with the person you have a baby with
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of that child's life. Because even when you bury them, if you gotta bury them, God
Yeah.
forbid, but if you gotta bury them before you and that dad has got to have a common conversation about how things are going to go. Otherwise, it's
Absolutely.
going to be an issue. So you are stuck with them to
Absolutely.
your child for life. Okay,
Absolutely.
for the expectancy of the child. But my daughter, I'm gonna give y'all an example of my daughter because I get the part about society. I do. I naturally get that part. Y'all heard me talking to my daughter. This is my one and only. Y'all heard me talking to my daughter when I heard her moving around on the first floor.
Uh-huh.
And I lost all concentration with y'all that I forgot to press mute because I need to know why my child was up walking around past 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And she like, oh, I was looking for a certain pair of pants. And it's like,
Regina,
at 10
she
o'clock
knows
at
not to,
night, where
but
you going
she
at 10 o'clock
right.
at
See, that's the thing. She knew not to be up at 10 o'clock at night looking for jeans, but yet she was up doing it.
night? But she had a reason. I can deal with the reason. She has to get up early in the morning to do something. So she wanted to make sure that she knew where these pants were because I said I was washing her clothes. I washed clothes on Friday, but she wanted a certain pair of pants. So I washed them today and she was trying to figure out where they were because I did not take out the time to tell her that they were on the bed. So when she came down to look for them without interrupting me, because that's one thing she doesn't like to do, and that's
Yeah,
something that's
yeah,
taught as well. Don't
exactly.
interrupt me when I'm talking to adults unless it's emergency.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you can feel free to write me a note and slide it to me.
yeah.
Y'all
Mm-hmm.
That's the way
realize
I
that
was
y'all be
raised
hearing
too.
my daughter when y'all hear me on these lives.
That's the way I
Y'all
was
don't hear my
raised
daughter
Yep.
too.
clicking around.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
taught her that as a child. You just don't do it. So, but you see, I checked into that, told her where it was. I washed them. The pants are on the bed. You can go ahead and get them. And she went on back to her room and she's out for the count. But she's
Right.
15 years old. Okay. She's 15. I still know who hits her at any given time. My phone ring before her phone ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I set precautions and she's okay with it, even though sometimes she laughs about it because she'd be like, Mom, this was a private conversation. And I'd be like, Lana, I don't look at all your conversations. I don't look at all of them. I only look at the new people. If there's a
Right.
new person, then I need to know who the new person is because sometimes these new people that be on my daughter's page because of who she is, sometimes it be perverts. It
Mm-hmm.
perverts. So I want
Mm-hmm.
to stop. I want to cut off the message before she even see it because I don't want her.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? She knows about perverts, but I don't want her to feel like she can't enjoy her childhood and laugh around with other kids online without
Mm-hmm.
feeling like some pervert is constantly in her inbox. So when them new people hit her up, I get them out the way. When it's certain
Mm-hmm.
conversations that go on, my daughter already comes and tell me. My daughter was just going off on Instagram roughly 2, 3 weeks ago talking about how boys need to slow it down, and she was saying like, if a girl says she don't want to see your naked pictures of your penis, then that's exactly what she means.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, and she
Okay.
like, and if I say I don't want to send you no naked pictures, then that's it. You're disrespecting me. You got to go. I saw the video and I was dying laughing. Somebody sent it to me like, your daughter going ham, right? I was like, over what? I go look, I'm laughing, laughing because see, that's not something that's common.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Not
common,
in this day and
but
age. Yeah.
you're right, not this day and age. But see, I train her on certain things that are too fast for the movement. I talked to her about different stuff. We've talked about sex since she was like 7, 8 years old. And that's because the school that I was teaching at started saying that they wanted to bring in conversations about sex and condoms to kindergartners.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bit too
So they
early.
were like, yeah, too early. I was like,
Way
Kinder?
too early.
way too early. And here's one thing that pissed me off. Now, for those who have parents, because I'm talking too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this one. For those of y'all who are parents of young children, they have certain classes that they no longer call sex education. It's a health class. You need to be finding out what is taught in health class, because at a certain point in some states, the discussion becomes about sex, which is fine. You know, if you're a type of parent that don't mind, it's fine. But for a parent who's fine, you probably don't also know that they teach your kids about dry humping.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Oral
They
sex.
tell
And
it as a
oral
form
sex.
of
Let's be clear.
to keep from them losing their virginity or, you know, having STDs and stuff. They teach them about stuff like dry humping and giving blowjobs, or not blowjobs, excuse me, hand
And
jobs.
anal sex.
Man, I was like, oh my God. I was like, no, I
Yeah.
can't approve this. At the point that they were bringing that in, I was working at the school and also sitting on a board as a parent.
Now, Gina, let
And
me ask you this: what year was that?
this was, okay, my daughter is in the 10th grade. So that started at third grade. So that is 7 years ago. So
So
we're
we're looking at
talking
2013,
2014.
Yeah.
14.
2014 is when they introduced that.
Let me tell you something. My soror, I have a soror who teaches fourth grade, fifth grade. They are already in the staircases having anal sex, having oral sex, because they want to quote unquote please their man, their little boyfriend, and they don't want to get pregnant.
So
So
wait,
they're
Yes,
okay,
already
but
that
doing
is
in
it
the
the
in
major
stairways
thing.
third,
at in the
fourth, fifth
stairwells at
grade.
school,
I'm sorry, what?
Stairwells, bathrooms,
Yeah,
at school.
at
at
school,
school.
in the class, in the school, in the staircases, in the bathrooms,
So let me
wherever
ask
they
you.
think that there's privacy.
So let me ask you:
I had fifth graders
is
telling
this
me they
the
already knew
school?
they were
Is it the
lesbians and
school's
gay.
fault? Is it the school's fault, the parents' fault, or the students' fault, or
I
is it
think
all the
it's
above?
everybody's fault. I think we all dropped the ball on this. I think we
I'm
all
gonna
did.
say, I'm
the
gonna
the
say
the
that
school, because we're the school guards that's supposed to be patrolling and monitoring where our kids are and what they're doing. We're the teachers that say so and so was not in class today.
that's what I was about
What's
to say.
going on?
Yeah, I was
You
about to say
know?
that too. I
If
blame the
I missed a
teachers for not
class,
knowing where their
just believe
students
my mother
are.
was getting a call. My father was getting a call saying Shannon was not in class today.
Not in class,
What's
or they
going
took too
on?
long in the
Now, yeah,
bathroom.
now it's like 2-3 weeks before you find out the child ain't been in school all semester.
Listen, I knew teachers who would give a kid a pass and know that kid is gonna be gone the whole class hour.
Because they
Oh
don't
my goodness.
care.
I
They
had more arguments
don't
with
know what.
authority at
What to do
school
now.
than the kids at school, because authority was not authority at the school. It was crazy. It's like, wait a minute. Now what? Why were they even in the bathroom able to twerk through 4 songs? I got kids who would show me stuff like, you know, look at this, look what this is that. Because sometimes, believe it or not, y'all, sometimes kids love rules. Kids love order. So when they have friends sometimes that are not in order, and they know there's an adult that won't do something that would harm the kids that they telling on, or snitch on them and say who told, they'll come to you with all the details. Oh my goodness. I had never witnessed so much knowing that children were doing. That's why I said at a certain point, I just said, you know what? I Go ahead. I'll be the counselor. I'll be the counselor, because evidently there's kids that need to come to me. They didn't like that they were always in my office. I was like, evidently there's kids that need to come to me, and I can't spend my whole lunch hour with the children. I got kids that's getting passes to come to my class to come talk to me, and I'm trying to teach a class. So I just said, just I'm gonna go ahead and be the counselor for the school. I'll be the counselor. Give me the position. I'll take it. So I'm the counselor. I got kids coming in telling me that one girl said, "Well, I know I'm a lesbian." How do you know you're a lesbian, honey? You're in the 5th grade. How do you know you're a lesbian?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it don't get me wrong. I understand that there are people who say that they've known a long time and all of that stuff. But for me, there's a socialization, because I noticed what friends I had that turned into bisexuals and lesbians at a certain stage. what I talked to the young lady was is this: you feel that way because the boys aren't giving you no attention, aren't you? Well, I
Mhm.
mean, like this, that, and the third, it was always something. They didn't feel attractive, and they didn't have this, they didn't have boobs yet, they didn't have, and so some girl who most likely has been exposed to that type of thing has told them that they like them, and that they're pretty and all this other stuff. So now you feel like, this is how you're supposed to be. Some of these kids are so confused. Baby girl, you're just going through a duckling period. You know what I'm saying? If you switch the way you look, switch the way you act, stop acting a certain way, I bet you the boys would be all over you. I dressed that girl up for homecoming and she was dancing all night on the dance floor. I'm like, see, now, are you still a lesbian? And she like, well, I kind of, exactly. I already know. The main problem is I need you to stop munching carpet. I got girls that you munching carpet in the bathroom and I'm finding out, and I need you to stop munching on girls in the bathroom. Who's your teacher
Right.
again? You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like it's so crazy. Like this is fifth grade, and like you
You
said,
know, that's in that
ain't
they
no
think
sex
that that's
by
how
middle
they're
school.
supposed to act because that's how society has made them feel like they need to act and be a certain way. It goes all the way back to what we started in the beginning, talking about women feeling like queens and men feeling like kings. If you don't
Yeah,
have the self-worth within yourself to feel like that king or that queen, then you're always going to be searching outside of yourself for that validation.
yeah, yeah. I can vibe with that. By the way, Ray of Sunshine. Um, I dig that comment that you just said. I saw it on the screen. I can't really see them on the side, but I saw it on the screen. I agree with that. The adults around them that are good examples to follow, so that they don't think. Yeah, I dig that. I dig
12
that.
Bells said this. Hey, 12 Bells, by the way. Hey, girl.
Hello, hello.
She says the staff at school don't care because children's rights can mess up the adult staff. Okay, so I do understand that within the bounds of the school life that there are certain boundaries that the adults can't cross because they're supposed to be, bound to certain things. But if you see something, you're supposed to say something. If you see children who are in the stairway of your school having oral sex or worse, anal sex, you need to say something. You need to bring that up. And I feel like a lot of times, not everyone, but a lot of times, people will turn a blind eye because they think that, hey, I don't want to deal with that. So I don't want to have that conversation.
Man,
And
for some
and
people
I'm saying,
it's too much work.
in olden times though, and Jada, hang on for a second. Um, in olden times or in the days where, a lot of us were growing up, the whole block, the whole neighborhood would be on your behind when
Yes.
something happened. Like what? Like my aunts would know what's going on before my mother even knew what was going on, or before my father even knew what was going on. My aunts already knew because folks were already calling and saying, hey, I saw, so and so doing so and so. Like, I was like, I cannot do anything. So I grew up on the straight and narrow. I grew up saying I'm not going to do nothing because my aunties and the pseudo aunties that are on the block and on the neighborhood will already know what I'm doing before I do it. So I'm not going to do nothing. So I always had the mindset that somebody's going to find out what I'm doing. So I'm not doing nothing.
That's
And
funny.
that's how I lived my life. But today's children don't have that luxury. They don't have that kind of sense of, the neighborhood is watching and everybody's like holding you up to a certain standard. And if you don't live up to that standard, you're going to be called to the carpet on that. Hey, Brian
Yeah.
Lynn, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I don't, when it comes to the school itself, I don't always hold the whole school responsible. like I said, I always got into it with some of the staff members because my thought is you knew that child was missing since you gave them that pass.
Hmm.
So after a certain amount of time, a good 10 minutes, if they ain't back,
Something's
you need to
going
be
on.
hitting up security guard and say, this student has not come back. Can you find
Hmm.
them?
Find them.
It shouldn't be like a, oh, well, I guess I'll deal with them when I see them. No,
No.
no. You do not let a good child go miss. Where is your responsibility to your students?
But here's what 12 Bell said for that. The rights for the child have loopholes where if you cross that child, the kid can get you fired. That's a real thing.
Look, it's a real thing, but at the end of the day, are you there to be a teacher? Because in most schools, now I don't know about in different states. I only know Chicago, Atlanta, and Detroit. In most of those schools, if you got put out as a teacher, you only got put out to go to a different school. It's not like you lost your whole job. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm,
did you become a teacher to teach and help children, or did you become a teacher to get the check and mind your business?
right. Right. Totally understand that.
It used to always bother me. Like I'm sorry,
Well,
coach.
ladies,
You
I'm gonna
allowed your
drop
child to go
off.
to no DOD.
Where you going? You leaving us?
I was gonna give me something to eat, some dinner. I made some
Um,
spring rolls and some Chinese rice. And,
Oh, do
ah.
you
yeah, because
deliver?
I had no intentions of coming up here. I thought the ladies were gonna talk tonight, so I was gonna be eating and listening. But
Well,
since
I mean, you can
since
eat and
Bella,
put us on mute. We
since
can't
Bella
see
invited
you.
me up, so I
Oh,
came up. But
oh.
No worries. Go eat.
all right, but again, Bella, thank you for coming, for having me coming up and having a conversation with you and Jada. You know, it's always real having conversations with
Absolutely.
you, so I appreciate it. I
Got,
was up on
got love
Jada's
for you.
panel one day on her channel. And we had a good
Who?
conversation on Jada's. You know, Jada got a
Yeah,
Oh
she's
channel.
on my channel.
Yeah, so I was
yeah.
Yeah.
up on her channel one day.
Yeah,
So
and I appreciate you coming on all the time. You know, whether it's my channel or I meet you across other channels like Bella's and Joby's, I appreciate it.
yeah,
It'd be fun talking to you or just
it is.
listening to you a lot of times. So,
Yeah. All right, well,
Absolutely.
ladies, y'all have a good one. I'm gonna still be listening and everything, though, and
Okay.
I'll be commenting in the chat.
okay.
Sounds
All right,
good.
peace. Take care.
Thanks.
See you.
So Ray of Sunshine said vaping and sagging is a trend more. I just don't understand the sagging. Are guys signaling more than being gay?
I don't know why they sag. I don't understand it,
I don't
especially
know.
as they get older. I'm like, you now you're in your 40s and you still sagging.
Yeah, like what's the deal? And then conversely, I don't understand the guys with the thin skinny pants. Like
Oh,
it just doesn't look right. Like wear pants that properly fit.
right. I
When
like
did that
men in
go
fitted
away?
pants. Fitted pants are perfectly fine. I don't even mind if they're not all the way right up on your hip. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
don't need it to be up your chest, but it needs to sit on you appropriately. I don't want to see butt crack
absolutely.
and stuff. Ugh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just don't get how that became a trend. Like I understood the baggy pants and the white shirts because they were emulating the jail cell kind of culture where
Mm,
that was prevalent. But I'm like, if you're not inside of a jail, then there is no reason why you should not have a belt and a proper shirt
ugh.
that fits you. You're not inside of a jail cell. Okay.
Right.
Understand you empathize with them, but you don't have to emulate them.
Right. There's no empathizing, child. As far as I knew, and again, it's limited information for me
Mhm.
growing up, but as far as I knew, guys did it to act like they was hard and had possibly had jail history. Because you run
Right.
into a guy back when I was growing up, and they were quick to say, "Well, I did a little time." Boy, you ain't
Mhm.
did no days. You ain't did no
Mhm.
days. Okay.
Mhm.
Getting the tattoos was also a signal of, I'm a bad boy. I done been in jail before. and then
Mm,
majority of the time you find out they were never in jail. So
mm,
it's like a sad and a front at the same time. But I have not got a guy to rationalize the reason why they like air rolling through their butt crack.
ooh.
It's like, let's just take everything else away and let me just ask you this. Why is it comfortable for air to be gliding through your butt crack?
Mm.
Like, what? You silly. No, no, I gotta ask the question because I know that, if my pants maybe like come down a little bit, even while I got a belt on,
Mhm.
man, that air that whooshes through to let me know, that breeze, be like, ooh, and I pull the
Mm.
pants up. So
Right.
I need to know, and I'm talking about at home. I need to
Ooh.
know how you comfortable with that little whisk of
Yeah.
air.
I don't get it at all. I really, really don't. DOD says again, the bad boys versus the good guys. I mean,
Let's be a
I
good
will take a
guy.
good guy any day, all day, and twice on a Sunday. I don't
Right.
want a bad boy. I don't want somebody where I have to question where they are, what they're doing. Like, that's not how I want to live my life.
Mm-mm.
So when we talk, going back to how we started again, talking about the men, feeling that they have to put a queen on a pedestal, but they're not put on there too. Like, I feel like I'm not a bad girl. I have some naughty
Mm-hmm.
tendencies though. And
Right.
but
Right.
I'm not a bad girl. I'm a good girl. So I want a good guy. I don't want a guy where I have to figure out like, okay, what's he doing? If I gotta do all that, I don't need you. I really don't.
Mm.
I really don't. I can live my life perfectly well by myself. I make a good living. I have my dog. I have my car. If I want to get in it and go and like visit people, I have money where if I want to travel, I can do that as well. I don't need a man. I'd like a man to be in my life. I enjoy, when I have my man and we're doing things and we're going places and we're doing different things. Like I enjoy that, but if I gotta deal with the nonsense to get that, I don't
Mm-mm.
need it. I really
I'll
don't.
pass. I'll pass. Again, if you're a good guy, you're a good guy. It's kind of like those people where um you think somebody is good, then they get drunk and you realize they ain't as good a person as you thought they were. Or
Exactly. That's
the
when the truth
person
come
who
out.
gets money, right? The person who gets money and then they change, but they really didn't change. It just got
Mhm.
heightened. So I feel the same way when
Exactly.
guys say stuff about good guys versus bad guys. Either you're a good guy or you're not. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter what some other woman done did, especially a woman you don't even know. It doesn't matter what they
Exactly.
did. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It doesn't matter what they did. Let it go. You're a good guy.
Mhm.
Focus on the good women, not these thoughts, not the girls that are ultimately pretty or with banging bodies that you just gotta have and you feel like you
Mhm.
can change, then be mad when they don't conform to the type of woman that you really want. So it's not a good guy versus bad guys. Bad guys get what it is that they want. Bad
Mhm.
girls.
Exactly. 12 Bears,
So if
thank
you
you for
trying to
sharing
get
my
what the bad
video,
guys are getting,
hon.
then you don't want a good woman.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I feel this way. I feel that men and women sometimes will allow you rope enough to hang yourself, meaning they're going to see how far you are going to take it in terms
Yeah.
of if you're a bad guy, if if you like to flirt around with other women, if you like to go into, other people's, conversations and be all sexually explicit or what have you, and they know that you have a girl, they're gonna let you go ahead and rope yourself in. They're gonna let you go ahead and have that kind of conversation all the while knowing in the back of their head, yeah, I think she's, he's with somebody, or I think she's with somebody, but they're over here being very, loose with their conversation, being very,
Yeah,
sexually provocative. And
yeah.
so then they use that as fodder to then come into your DMs and say things like, oh, well, I was in a live and your man, so called, was over here propositioning me. Oh, really?
Oh
Like, if
my.
you know your man enough to be like, I think he was just being friendly towards you, sis. Like, I'm not going to let you rope me into this scenario that's going to allow me to think bad about a person that I have been with and that I know.
Okay.
Um, and I'm a good judge of character. At least I consider myself a good judge of character. So I'm not going to let anybody steer me away from what I know to be true. Now, I will ask, like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on here? I'm hearing da da da. What happened? But I'm not going to take it to the point where I'm accusing that person, because again, I don't know. And again, I'm going to allow you to say your piece. I'm not going to take that as um a sign that you've already done something wrong that I need to be wary about, or be cautious about. I'm going to find out what the deal is, because as I said in the beginning of this live, everything that's done in the dark does come out in the light. So even if you tell me nothing was happening, nothing was going on, but then I find out later something has, it's going to be
Mm,
20 times worse for you, because again, I put my trust in you, saying that you are not going to do that, because I thought that's the kind of man you were. And when I
right.
find out differently, my opinion of you has now changed, because the things that I thought I could count on and value has now been turned on its head. It's now been changed, in my opinion. And so now I'm going to look at you differently. Not saying again that I would end the relationship, because again, when you start to see signs that the person that you thought they were is not, and it's more than just one instance, when it's a repeated instance that you keep seeing that this guy who you have held up as a king is not a king at all, then and only then do you change your mind and change your opinion on that person, and then say, you know what, at the end of the day, that person is not for me.
Oh yeah, I
That
kick them
person
to the
is not for
curb.
me.
You know it. Look, I drop them if I feel like they are not for me. If it does not give me joy to be around them, I drop them, and I don't feel bad about it. I'm saving both of us time, because there's one thing I don't want to have to do. I don't want to have to go back and forth arguing with nobody. I don't like to
Yeah.
argue. Me and
Mhm.
arguing with a man, that
No.
just ain't a thing. I barely like arguing with women, or I don't like it. But I'm saying I may have to going back and forth with a woman sometimes. But a guy, I don't like arguing back and forth with a man. I'm not even going to raise my voice. You know what I'm saying? And I've had an ex where, but see, that's why he got booted anyway. I'm okay. He got loud, and the
Mm.
aggressiveness on his face, but I let him keep going. And he was mad because he like, so you're not gonna say nothing? It's like talking to a brick wall. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I figured I'm not gonna give you the opportunity to get too heated and you feel like you can hit me and it's justified because I'd kill you.
Mm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let you finish your piece, and then
Yes.
I'm going to let you know that I did not feel comfortable with how you displayed your information. And he was just like, oh no, I don't want you to be scared of me and da 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 da. And I'm like, see, you probably wanted to provoke me so you could hit me like you hit your other two women,
Mm.
but I'm not the type.
And I'm not the one.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
just
That
not.
ain't
I'm just not.
me.
That's not how I was built. That's not how I conduct myself. I'm a big proponent in, guess what? You treat people the way you want to be treated. I don't want to be treated badly, so I'm not going to treat you badly.
Right. You treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. We can be mutual with this. We can always disagree, but we don't have to be disrespectful to each other. We don't have to raise our voice. We don't have to throw things. I'm not into all of that. When I'm with a man, I like for it to be peaceful. I know
Mhm.
situations may arise, but it still must feel like I can come back to the point of peace with you. If I don't feel that way, I will get rid of you. If you are doing things repeatedly and I've already expressed to you, if you want to be with me, you cannot do this here. It's okay if you don't want to change it. That's fine. But don't be mad at me when I leave you.
Exactly.
There's a certain way that I want
Exactly.
to be loved, just like there's a certain way you want to be loved. I'm hitting all of your points. I need you to hit mine.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, prison the pipeline. Yeah, I feel that.
Yep.
Turning a blind eye
Absolutely.
because of that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
dig that.
And Ray says true about confidence, and then they won't follow these rappers or actors that are ratchet because along with better examples, you don't think that is the way to go. Yeah, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. There's nothing glorified about being a rapper. It really isn't. Because half
No.
your money is tied into the machine that is pushing you out. So all of these people, they have to make millions and millions of dollars before they see anything.
Yeah, you
Trust
know
me,
what?
I've been in it. I know. The clauses that these people sign and these signing bonuses and the way that they turn those bonuses and trick them out into jewelry and cars and homes and stuff. Now, homes I don't mind them purchasing as long as it's within their means, because guess what? When you don't start cranking out those hits and you don't start making a return on that investment, that house goes, those cars go, those jewelry vanishes, because the record company needs to recoup their money, their investment. And if you do not live up to the ROI, return on investment, they will take their money that they have put into you and they will pull it, and you now owe them. So now you've gone
Yeah.
into having a plus sign in your bank account to a minus. And now all of that money that you have gotten from them now needs to be recouped, and the piper needs to be paid. And honey, let me tell you something. There's been many a broke rapper, many a broke artist that has now, come crawling back to record companies saying, okay, I got hits, I got this, I got that. How can I, recoup this money back? It's hard, honey. When you are an investment and they have invested in you and you don't fulfill that investment, it's hard to get them to reinvest in
Well, I
in
mean, just
your
look.
in what
Oh,
you do.
my bad.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jada.
I was gonna say, just look at Hallie and Chloe.
Uh-huh.
Hallie and Chloe at a very high point, at a very high point of their career was when they became internet sensations,
Yep.
right? For singing different songs, especially like Beyonce songs.
Yep.
Beyonce decided, okay, I'm going to get these young girls, sign them up for $1 million together.
Yep.
Together, 1 million. That means 500,000 each one.
Each.
a
Mm-hmm.
million dollars, and they must produce 6 albums.
There you go.
This was almost 6 years ago, I
Yep.
think, when she signed them. And to date, what, they only got 3 albums?
Yep.
And there's people who don't even realize they got 3 albums.
Exactly.
I'm like, listen, you got
Exactly.
to
And they still
understand
have
what you're
3
dealing with
albums that
in
they
the
need to
industry.
produce. So when people are like bashing, which one of it that's like showing her body? I think it's Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah, so she's like, showing her body and she's doing all this stuff. She's trying to secure the bag for herself because she knows that she still has 3 more albums that she needs to produce for her sister. But
Right.
beyond that, she still has to recoup all the money that has been invested in her. And maybe they bought
Absolutely.
houses, or maybe they bought cars or jewelry or whatever it is. But again, you still have to pay the piper. You still have to recoup and be at a in the black instead of in the red. Like
Yeah.
you need to have more money coming in that's than going out.
And that's why I said it's people don't understand that
And
Chloe
what my sister
Chloe understands the
said is
game.
higher interest than a credit card. You got that right.
Girl, yeah. But
You
see
got
that
that
Chloe
right.
understands the game. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's why it was easy for her to be the solo to come out. She understands the game. She knows that sex sells. If they don't bust out 3 albums with some fire on it, they're going to be in debt to Beyonce, which I feel
Exactly.
like Beyonce did a disservice with them. They should have signed with somebody else because there's no way that you're signed to Beyonce, which means that you have access. You got access to studios that Jay-Z deal with. So, oh my goodness, excuse me. Sorry. My toe hit the remote.
Uh-oh.
So you have access to different types of people, but the most that they do is have you on TV shows and appearances. In 6 years, they were already popular when she met them. They
Mm-hmm.
already had over 1 million people and still only gave them $1 million. I thought that was crazy. But nonetheless, they had over 1 million followers already back then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They already could sing back then. So
Yeah.
why is it that now you have Chloe out here selling sex and yet everything is mediocre about what she's doing? I'm like, this got to be like a failed situation because her dance skills are horrible. Her stage presence is boring. Her videos are boring. How
Mm-hmm.
is that possible when Beyonce and Jay-Z is backing you? How is it possible? This is the only talent
Because
that they've.
all they're doing is throwing money at you. They're not grooming you to do anything. And
Well,
that's
they
why I
didn't
think
throw too much money. I
the
just think
worst
that it was
thing
a
for
stunt
an
in the
artist
growth.
to do is to sign with another artist. I would rather
Yeah,
you just sign with a company that their sole purpose is A&R and grooming. That's why back in the day, Motown artists was so successful because Berry Gordy was not an artist, but he believed in grooming artists and
right.
having A&R who were not interested in being in the videos, Puffy, and doing all this other extra stuff and trying to be an
Mhm.
artist themselves. Again, Puffy. They were they were interested in building the artists and artists and repertoire. That's what they are doing. That's what they are for. They are to build that artist to a certain level so that they have marketable skills. So that when they
Yes.
release an album, when they do a project, if it's not, singing related, everything ties in together and they have a cash cow that will continue to produce money. Um,
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening with artists, recording artists that have record companies. It's been done in certain cases, but for far and wide, the problem is too many people want to be the chief and nobody wants to be the Indian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody
I
wants to
can
be
see
the Indian.
that.
And I
I can
mean,
see that.
I've lived it. I've worked with some of these artists. I've lived that life, and I will tell you, brown girl, fake cigarette
Mm,
blow. She's
right.
lived. She's done some things, and I will
Mm,
tell you one of the things that I really had a problem with, but hey, the paycheck was coming, so I kept my mouth shut and I didn't say nothing. Was these artists that have these um A&R deals where they go in and they get these artists, and again, their sole purpose is to get them and flip them. Get them
yeah.
to a point where they have a hit single that people are looking at on the radio, get them to, that status where people are like, oh, I like this person, I like that song, and then cut them loose. They cut them loose. They send them off into the wild, and they're like, all right, make another hit. And until
Right.
you do,
Yeah.
we not messing with you.
Yeah. I can see that too.
Yeah, till you do, we ain't messing with you. That's right, Terry. Berry Gordy wanted to put out a quality product in every way, and he invested in
Absolutely.
people who wanted to do the same. He invested in
Yep.
A&R representatives who wanted to do the same, who wanted to put out quality music, gold star music, timeless music that will transcend the time. So that's why, Motown was so successful when it first came out, because they groomed them from soup to nuts. When you stood
Man.
out in front of PR and these people were asking you questions, you knew how to answer them. Why? Because Berry Gordy and his team were grooming you on those very same questions every single day. And when you have um that kind of energy poured into you, that kind of knowledge poured into you, you had no choice but to produce, because that's all you know. But these people don't
Hmm.
have that. They don't have that grooming legends kind of move that Terry just put out. He did. He
They
groomed
don't.
legends. He
They
groomed,
don't.
yeah, he groomed artists that not only knew how to sing, but knew how to write. Smokey Robinson,
Hmm.
he wrote for tons of people. And I
Hmm.
always will say, like, my son at one time wanted to be in the record business. And I said, listen, your mama, she was in the record business. She was in the A&R. And I will tell you, there's more money behind the scenes than there
Yes,
are
ma'am.
in front of the scenes.
The
The
writers make
artists,
some of the
yes,
most
they
money.
make money, and a great artist who can deliver on everything will make a lot of money. But the person who will always make more money is the producer, is the writer, is the
Hmm.
people who are running the boards, the engineers. They will always make more
Hmm.
money than the artist. Why? Because they're constantly producing amongst
That's true.
everyone. Whereas you, the singer, are producing for yourself, or singing
Yep.
for yourself, or doing things for yourself.
Yes. And you know what? You mentioned the grooming nature of it all. And as I say this, allow me to say, I like
Mhm,
Chloe and Halle. I do. I like the young ladies. But you brought up something that I discussed after she did her interview after the awards,
mhm,
and she was discussing people talking about, um how she's like a ripoff of Beyonce or whatever. And
mm,
her answer was just like, oh my goodness. Like why now she has an album that's coming out. So you mean they still ain't groomed her on how
mhm,
to answer in interviews?
mhm.
She should be polished. That being that Beyonce is your mentor and y'all hang out with Beyonce, why Beyonce hasn't taught you how to handle an interview? She's
Because
had
that's
an
not what she
attitude
does.
and she
She is not a record executive. She
no,
has a
she's not.
record
But
label,
that's why
but she's not
but
an executive.
there are it's common sense to say, you know what? She needs to be trained. Let me set her up with a trainer. I mean, at the end of the
But
day,
they don't
Beyonce, you
have
put your
that
name on
now.
her.
They don't have
I
that stuff anymore.
no, they don't. And that's what bothers me as I had to dig into what Chloe and Halle are dealing with because again, I understood Chloe had to come out because it was the only way to make their next couple of records work.
Right.
They only got a certain amount of time frame. So they need to get it to work and they threw her out there to take that chance, right?
Mhm.
It's for me it's a bust mission. Not saying that the girl is not talented. Her voice is great.
Her voice,
But
both of them are phenomenal
they
singers.
are,
But
aren't they?
singing
Oh
is
my
not
goodness.
the only talent that's needed right now. It's not.
Right. You got to be able to dance. You got to be able to talk right. Your stage presence, her stage performances are so sleepy to me. It's like, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, why is this so boring? Why is this all the effort that they gave you into your stage performance? Why are you dancing too fast for your song? Slow it
Mhm.
down. Poise, be confident. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so anxious. So it just proves to you that she's not ready and that she hasn't been trained in the last 6 years.
Exactly.
This is something she should be ready for by now.
Mhm.
You've been in the camp of these people for 6 years.
Yep.
Let me get in control of some artists again, okay? That
Yep.
makes no sense.
Yep.
So it's pretty wild, but I I wish these girls well. At their
Mhm.
age right now, they're gonna age out and they're gonna become desperate artists. I can see it coming. I don't want
Yep.
it to be that way. But they're already what, 21, 23, 21 and 23, I
Mhm.
think. 21 and 23, and you've been in the game 6 years already. So
Mhm.
you're gonna hit 30 and you're gonna be a has-been.
Exactly. Exactly. Ray said, "Oh no, Brooklyn Bella did not talk about P Diddy, but facts. That's the one thing Sugar was right about. Sugar was right
Oh
about.
we.
Let me tell you something. Let me
Oh
tell you
we.
something about Mr. P Diddy. First of all, he's crazy, and he's crazy because he did a lot of drugs. Um, but one thing I can say about him, and he rubbed my stomach when I was pregnant with my son, and he was like, this gonna be my godson. And I made the
Aw.
mistake of telling my son that. And so he's like,
Uh-oh.
yeah, P. Diddy's my godfather. I'm like, no, he's not actually your godfather, son. But I get where you're
Aw.
going. Like, he claimed you. And
Right.
his birthday is like 4 days after P. Diddy's. So you can't tell him nothing. Like, he just knows P. Diddy is like his godfather. But all that aside, like, what I can say about him is that he was hungry enough that he put himself out on a limb. Like,
Yeah, I can dig
he
that.
he said the story about how, he was fired from Uptown Records, and it's true, he was. But he was so arrogant. He had such an air about him. And I will say that's the one thing that he and my son does share. I don't know if it's a whole Scorpio thing or what, but those Scorpio men are very arrogant. DOD.
Mhm.
They're very arrogant.
Ahem.
DOD.
Ahem.
DOD. Very
Ahem.
arrogant. Very arrogant. They are very self aware, and they feel like it's got to be the way that they want it to be. So when he started throwing his weight around and started saying things that he wanted to do, folks were like, "Oh, well, this ain't your show, dude. Like, this is not your party. This is not where you need to be. If that's where you want to do it, you need to have your own stuff." And so he said, "Yeah, well, I'm going to go and have my own thing." And he built, Bad Boy. But what I will say is that although he tried to follow the Berry Gordy mold, and he did have some really good A&R people, he didn't pay them well. He did not invest in them the way that Berry Gordy invested in his A&R people. And so the good
That's a
people that
fact.
he had left because they're like, I'm not going to stand for this. You're crazy. You yell at us every other day, and you don't pay us what we're worth, so we're
Mm.
leaving. You like that? You like that, DOD? DOD.
Yeah.
um right. but
Right.
but that's the thing, like, you want to have this great company, you want to have this great legacy, but you don't invest in the people to make that happen. And you take credit for things you should not take credit for.
Mm.
because there were a lot of people who helped engineer, who helped produce, who helped write that did not get the credit that they deserved. They didn't. They didn't. And so people
I can
left
believe it.
in droves. People left in droves. So once you have that happen, you're going to have what's called a crash and burn. You're going to have people who you have on the label who didn't figure it out in time. And now, their music is trash because the people who invested in writing for them and producing for them and engineering for them when they come in to do their songs, they're no longer there.
Right.
So now you have the B team, or in worst case, the C or D team that don't know your music, that don't know your style, that's just in it for a paycheck. And, the quality has gone down in triplicate.
I know that's right. You telling the truth on that part. Cause I
Mm-hmm.
sure realized it. Like, whew, wait a minute. This ain't right. Like there's certain artists that I was like, how he dropped the ball on that?
Exactly.
And
Yes,
it's
Terry,
a
I
repetitive
did, but
thing
as
with him
an
too.
intern, so I didn't get paid. He did
Mm.
not pay me. Cheap
I got a chance
bastard.
to witness some different things going on. And
Yeah.
it
I
was
mean,
at a
when you're
time where right before my daughter was born, actually, because I was trying out for the girl band and
mhm.
making a band with the girls. And
Oh, Lord.
yeah, I tried out for that. And matter of fact, let me tell you the funny part, okay? I'm gonna tell you the funny
Mhm.
part, and then I'm gonna just go back to the other part. When I first tried out, right,
Uh-huh.
they were so cruel. The first
Yeah.
time, it was like different rounds. If you made it to the third one, you were
Right.
great. I
Mhm.
got through the first one, I was good. The second one, I was good. The third one, they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we like you. So we need you to go out through that door." And I was like, "Oh, that must be the special door." Girl, why was it the door out the building, down the stairs, off the building? What are those things called? The stairs that are on the side of the building off the bricks?
Oh,
What are those
oh, I know what
stairs?
you're talking about.
What is it, the escape or
Fire,
something like
the
that?
fire escape.
The fire escape. When I opened up the door and shut it and then opened up the other one, I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh. So I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh my God. I was like, they just hold me. Okay. But then
Um,
after that, I got a phone call and they were like, we would like for you to come and this, the, that, the third. But I got a chance to spend a little time with them as much as like almost 8 days. I had a photo shoot and everything, right? Representing my hometown, or at least the hometown that I was officially raised the rest of my life in, which was Detroit. And I got a chance to take pictures and stuff. And then I found out I was pregnant, so that canceled me out. But
oh.
yeah, but they had me working with what was that man name? He had dreads. He was the vocal coach. So after I had my daughter, it was an emergency situation. So they shoved these tubes in my throat that made me a little raspy. They told me to
Mhm.
work with the vocal coach guy. I'm trying to remember his name. He had locks.
Mhm.
Older guy, mustache, and kind of had like
Mhm.
a almost like a feminine lisp to his voice. And,
Mhm.
I was like, okay. I was like, this dude is cool. I heard he had worked with some different people. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, if he training the main people, then this should be good. Dealing with them, I noticed a lot of different stuff. And
Mhm.
I was like, wow. I was like, you know what? I don't even want to be part of this.
Right.
Different stuff. It was a couple of times where I saw some things happen that I was like, what the front cake? And people are
Mhm.
sitting there just carrying on like they didn't just witness what I just saw.
Mhm.
And I was
Lot of
like, you know what?
a lot of stuff went on back then. A
Yeah, I was
lot
like,
of
wait
stuff.
a minute. Like I had to tell somebody one time when they were talking about the Dr. Dre thing. I was
Mhm.
like, listen, I've
That's
personally
nothing. That's
personally
nothing.
seen Dr. Dre smack his wife down with a whole fist, and she got back up like nothing was wrong asked if anybody wanted anything.
Mhm.
Nobody moved, budged.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, well, let me shut up and just leave because one, I can't stand here and take the situation. Two, I realize nobody's going to have your back. So this must happen often. And I'm just going to dismiss myself. I
Sarah,
try
that's
to
why
laugh
I
at the
told my girl
situation,
to
but
be Biddy of my channel because she always want to be up in my videos. But
oh,
again, it goes back to what I said. When you have a frustrated artist who also wants to be in that limelight,
right.
that's what happens. That's what
Mm,
happens. He wanted to be a star. He did not want to be just a record executive. He wanted to be the
right.
star. He wanted to be noticed. He wanted to be out front. And it
And
does
that's
not work when you are trying to groom an artist to do the exact same thing that you want to do. Somewhere in the mix, you're going to butt heads. And so for my role, and I was just like a lonely intern. I was doing stuff. I was going out and doing flyers and all that kind of stuff and sitting in the record label when they had studio time and making sure nobody got too high that they couldn't sing the songs and do what they needed to do.
mm-hmm.
Ishy job, but somebody had to do it.
Somebody got to do it. It's
Somebody
a
had to
job.
do it. So I
Yep.
did. And for my quote unquote payment, I got free access to parties. I got clothing. I got telephone, like I got beepers, back then when the two ways were out, I had one of those. Like I got paid in like props and different things, but not in
Yeah.
cold hard cash, which is what I needed at the time. So I had to part ways. I was like,
Mm.
okay, I need to go to advertising because at least they pay you in cold hard cash.
I hear that, honey. I hear that completely.
Cash is king. But I actually got into it through my ex-husband. My ex-husband and D Dot, which was one of Puffy's hitmen.
Mm-hmm.
They were best friends. They grew up together. So
Oh,
that's how
nice.
I got involved in the whole scene.
Well, here's a little tidbit, and I'm gonna whisper this. Um, Let me make sure I state it correctly so I don't get sued. Give me a
Mm,
second. It is my belief, even though I'm gonna say this allegedly, it is
allegedly.
my belief that because of the way that Puffy behaves, I would not be surprised if he didn't off both of them. And
Mm.
I don't need to say which words they are.
Yeah, nope, nope,
And
nope.
then capitalize on it and came out with all of them videos and, you know,
Mm-hmm,
thinking of the day
mm-hmm,
when you
mm-hmm,
went away. Yeah, all
mm-hmm.
of that. And
Yeah.
I was convinced after seeing that nutball, or excuse
Mm-hmm,
me, I shouldn't say it that way. He wasn't a nutball. It's just it felt nutty to me. It was a lot of things that I got away from after a while because I was like, oh, like maybe this ain't what I want to do.
yeah,
I don't want to be in the midst of these different people. And it
yeah.
took me a while. I still dabble in the midst of some stuff, but
Mm-hmm,
sometimes when I see things, it reminds me of how much I don't want to be in the middle
mm-hmm.
because stuff that I see, it bothers me. And I realize nobody else cares.
Yep.
It could be because they so used to it that it's like, hey, they cool with it. I ain't trying to lose my position of wherever I'm at. Even if they were just the roadie. It was like they didn't want to lose their position because I would see things and be like, what the? And next thing you notice, I don't want to deal with these people no more. And then people be like, well, what? Why you don't want to do? No, no, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't want to be bothered. Like
Yep.
I think I've told you before. Um, I ain't listened to R. Kelly since 12 play.
Yeah.
And I have not listened to him since 12 play. Way
Mm-hmm.
back then, as a young girl, hanging out with my cousins and them, witnessing things that I did not see or not to the extreme of what the women were talking about, but some of the stuff that I could see front face because I'm there. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Not as one of the people who are in the mix, but in the middle, noticing things like, did he just
Mhm.
like ain't that
Mhm.
girl 12?
Yes, one Bella After Dark. I will tell everyone my R. Kelly story.
Girl.
But yeah, it's late. We've been on for almost 3.5 hours.
What?
Yeah, girl, we've been talking, honey. We've been talking.
Amen.
Amen. But I thank you guys for being here. I thank you, Jada, and as well you, DOD, for coming up and spending time with me. This has been a great live. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, but I truly
I have.
enjoyed my time with you all. This has been
I
so
have.
much fun and so enlightening to hear not only the men's point of view, but the other females' point of view as well. Not only with Jada, but also with people in the chat putting
Yes.
in their comments. It's been fantastic. And I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do to top it next week because this has been a good live. Thank you
It's
all for
always good
joining.
over here, child. It's
I
always
mean,
good.
exactly. Like, look at the time how it flew. Like, we've been on 3 and almost a half. In 5 minutes, it's gonna be 3.5 hours.
Mm.
Wow.
Well, I have enjoyed you. I enjoy DOD as usual. Always enjoy the chat, whether I'm in the chat or just on the screen. I appreciate you having me come up and having a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, sweetheart. I'll see you
No
next. Well,
problem.
I'll see you later on tomorrow or something. Because you know how
Yeah,
we
most
do.
likely. Yep.
You know how we do. Up supporting other people. Um,
Right.
and I thank you all for joining. This has been fabulous. Until next time, babes. You know you have now been bellified. Love to all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.